Benz takes electric to places it's never been before, and that's not only because of its impressive 305-mile range. From behind the wheel of its sumptuous 3-row cabin, you'll enjoy tech most other automakers haven't yet dreamed of. The optional 56-inch Hyperscreen is your getaway to the very latest comfort, navigation, diagnostic, and infotainment functions. Accessible by touch, voice, or even gesture. With customizable driving modes, you can fine-tune the vehicle settings to precisely match your driving style. And in off-road mode, optional transparent hood technology lets you navigate safely around hazards that are actually beneath you. Yes, the EQS SUV is so smart, it can see through sheet metal. The vehicle's all-electric, the feeling all Mercedes. Test drive the EQS SUV today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQS-SUV.
Memphis. Get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7 p.m. for Hoops for St. Jude night. Don't miss a night full of hoops, heart, and heroism presented by Gossett Motor Cars. Get ready for a star-studded show by securing your tickets at Grizzlies.com.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks warning, take the 8:15 into the sea.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd back with you. Little thing we call Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, March 12th, 2024 edition, broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, patio furniture. Spring is upon us, just about here. So take advantage of all the great deals at Family Leisure. The first hour of the program is also brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. A little chill to the morning, but it will warm up significantly. Currently 42 degrees, getting up to 71 today, mostly sunny skies. Should be one of those Chamber of Commerce days, at least that's what it says in the forecast. Tonight, 55, little cloudy, passing clouds, but nothing as far as precipitation is concerned, only a 10% chance. Tomorrow, partly sunny, but the high moves up to 77 degrees. So the weather looks to be very, very nice. And we look to be very, very busy today. We're always busy, but today, extremely busy here on the program. Penny Hardaway had some interesting things to say last night at his weekly radio show. We will discuss that on the program. We'll talk NCAA basketball with conference tournaments ongoing, busy week. Selection Sunday is Sunday. So we will talk, obviously, a lot about the round ball. We'll also talk NBA as the Grizzlies return to work tonight. They will host the Washington Wizards tonight, and then back home tomorrow. They'll play the Detroit Pistons. So busy couple of days for the Grizzlies. The SEC hands out some postseason awards. We will talk about that on the program. And there is plenty of NFL news. We thought we had a lot yesterday. Man, some big names coming and going and more on the way. We'll talk about that on the program. There also may be a new revenue stream, at least a proposal out there to get the money that they need to do the complete renovations to FedEx Forum. So we will give you that story as well. Connor O'Gara joins us at 7:25 as he does every other Tuesday to talk college football, spring football, opening up all around the country. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis at 8:25. And then our buddy Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. And one of the stars of Full Swing on Netflix. You see him and you hear him all the time. If you're watching the series, the new season has dropped. I watched it. Very, very interesting to say the least, because it was a very interesting 2023 campaign in golf. We will talk to him about that. And, of course, the Players' Championship, which will begin on Thursday from Ponte Vedra. As always, you can hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it
Yes.
Is it more than usual with the NFL signings? I know there's always a lot, but it seems like big name after big name after big name every 3 minutes.
It was a fast and furious day yesterday. I don't know if it was more than normal, but it was it was a crazy day one of legal tampering. I know that much.
Man, legal tampering, illegal tampering, however you want to call it. It was busy, and it will continue to be busy today. But we'll talk about the NFL in hour number 2. We will open up with the Memphis Tigers and the basketball team as they get set for the American Conference Tournament. And obviously, they have to win the tournament to get in the NCAA tournament. There's no chances in at-large. And they'll have to win 4 in 4 days. The tournament will begin tomorrow. The Tigers' first action will be on Thursday. Last night, Coach Penny Hardaway talking to the media after his weekly radio show as the team will leave today to head down to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Interesting comments that we'll discuss here on the program. First of all, he said, quote, this is about people saying he should be fired. I took this job because it was low as it had been. I don't need any sympathy from anybody. I gave up my retirement to come here and help the University of Memphis and the city, and I feel I've done a great job. There's no question that he could be doing anything he wants. Nobody will argue that point. Penny could be on a isolated island out there in the wherever, Caribbean, off the coast of Australia, off the coast of Italy. He's got the money, living the high life, but he's back in Memphis trying to resurrect this program. Nobody will argue that. People will certainly debate whether he's done a great job, as we'll talk about in a second, what makes the success or lack thereof, depending on the way you view it, successful or not. He said the standard of the program has gone way up since I've been the coach. That's how I feel. Now, Parthu Pajai, friend of the show, the Tigers basketball beat writer for the Daily Memphian, did want to specify with Penny who he was talking about when he talked about the people who want him fired. And he said, this is not about the media. I'll never talk about the media. You guys have a job to do. So Parth said, seemed to be talking about a select group of fans. Now, remember this, too. There are a lot of fans that are fair-weathered fans. There are a lot of fans also that are just honest and open, that are diehard Tiger fans. And then, of course, there are other people that give their opinion, and they're allowed to, that couldn't care less about Tigers basketball. This is a melting pot city. There's a lot of people from different areas that have come in, or that their rooting interest is with other schools, whether it be Tennessee or Ole Miss or Arkansas or Mississippi State or Alabama, whatever the case may be. But again, you're always entitled to an opinion. So he's not directing it towards the media. At least that's what he said last night. So him talking about he feels that the job and the expectations have been elevated since he has taken over as head coach. I would argue that. I would argue that because the expectations have always been high, Eli, for that job, to have success as the Memphis Tigers men's basketball coach. So I want to throw it back out there, something that we have talked about many times. What should the expectations be for Memphis Tigers men's basketball now moving forward as they play in this revamped American Conference? And have they changed over the years? I would argue that when he was playing, the expectations were always get to the NCAA tournament and then do damage in the tournament, and that coaches who did not get there would be scrutinized and criticized. Are we looking at it any differently now, and should we be?
I mean, in this conference, if Memphis is at all what they believe they are as a program, they should pretty much go to the NCAA tournament every year because they should pretty much win the conference every year. I mean, you've basically eliminated all of the schools in the conference that have any sort of basketball tradition, other than maybe UAB, you could still say has, but I mean, nobody else in this conference really has any basketball tradition. I mean, you should clearly be the best basketball program in the conference. And so, yeah, I mean, to say this after being the 5th seed in the conference tournament, to act like you're doing a great job when you're going into the conference tournament as the 5th seed, I just don't really, the timing of trying to say you're doing a great job seems really odd to me.
Well, let me say this. As I read the quotes and gave a little commentary, right, Penny Hardaway could have done whatever he wanted to do. We understand that. But it doesn't mean that it lessens criticism when warranted to a coach who has given his blood, sweat, and tears to the university. That doesn't matter. That didn't matter for Pat Ewing. It didn't matter, and it doesn't matter for Juwan Howard. The expectations in that sense don't change. But him saying that the standard of the program has gone way up since he's been the coach, I don't think so. I don't believe so. The expectations and the standards have always been high. And has he done a great job? He says he has. I think he has done a good job. I don't know if I would go great when you're talking about, again, one tournament victory in what will now be 6 years if they don't make it. And they still have a chance, obviously. It's going to be an uphill battle, but they have a chance to get to the NCAA tournament and then do some damage. And if they do, we'll look at it a different way. But as far as the elevation, no, the expectations have always been high. I've always felt, and I still feel, and I give them the benefit of the doubt, that in this revamped conference, Houston's no longer here, they should make the NCAA tournament at least 3 out of 4. I'm not going to sit here and say every single year because things happen, right? Sometimes the chemistry isn't there. Sometimes there's a key injury. But 3 out of 4 is not crazy talk when you're talking about the Tigers and what the perception is of this conference. Now, you hope that reality matches the perception. We think very highly of our program here in Memphis. So 3 out of 4 years in this conference is not asking too much, especially when he's going to play a big-time non-conference schedule. The teams ended up stinking this year, but that wasn't his fault. I'll never fault him for that. So 3 out of 4. But that's the minimum, just making the tournament. Then you have to do some damage once you're in the tournament. So I don't think the expectations have been ratcheted up a level because he's the coach. I think those expectations have always been there.
I think they've been reduced because people have made excuses for him.
It's not the expectations have been reduced, but the criticism of him has been reduced in some regards because people know how important he is to the city and the program. So his criticism of those who have criticized him and say he should be fired, I still think is in the very minority. It's not the majority. But to have some sort of criticism is not out of line, I don't believe. Again, Penny Hardaway, if you asked him while he was playing basketball at Memphis, then Memphis State, if Memphis should get to the NCAA tournament every year, and he was only there and played for, 2 years, he would say yes. I guarantee he would say yes. So that's the bare minimum. And I'm giving him 3 out of 4 years, not 4 out of 4 years.
He had one, this comment, this is what I don't understand. He said, I look at my career so far in 4 years. I inherited a group. We went to the second round of the NIT, granted. The next group was an NIT group. So I've really had 4 years to try and do what I've done, and I feel like I've done pretty well. I don't understand saying the next group was an NIT group. The next group, even if you take James Wiseman out of it because of the issues, had Precious Achua, Lester Quinones, Boogie Ellis, DJ Jeffries, Tyler Harris, Alex Lomax, Damian Ball. You had, taking James Wiseman out of it, there were 5 top 100 recruits, including 3 top 50 recruits. That's just an NIT group?
No, that team underachieved.
Like, that's just, according to him, that NIT team. I mean, what was I supposed to do with that bunch? We got to that, it was an NIT bunch. That's it. Like, what? So he reduces his time here from 6 years down to 4 years just automatically, because the first 2 years, what was I supposed to do? Even though he put together, that was a number 1 recruiting class in America.
I thought he did a pretty good job his first year with a team that lacked talent and the team that he inherited. I thought he did a pretty good job. But yes, that's an excuse for that second-year bunch. Obviously, they won an NIT title. That is not what you expect to do at Memphis. But Calipari also won one. He won an NIT title. But then the team elevated to where it played in a national championship game. We have hit that timeline, basically, for Penny to show that that team is on the rise, on that trajectory. Now, last year, they won the conference tournament title. That was certainly a feather in his cap. That was an accomplishment. They beat Houston. Look at what Houston's doing in the Big 12. So you give credit where credit's due. But when it all is said and done, they went into the NCAA tournament and lost. And so nobody in their right mind should be discussing that. Again, some critics out there, and that's fine if you feel that he should be fired, but that's not the direction I'm going in. Certainly not. But they have to start getting consistently to the tournament and winning games once they get to the tournament. I don't think the expectations have changed.
How long do you get to do that? They have if they miss the tournament this year, they will have now regressed 2 straight. They went from winning a game to not winning a game to out of the tournament. So they're actually heading in the wrong direction. Right. So how long do you get?
I don't know. But with Penny Hardaway, see, that's why Penny and players of his status going back to coach for their school will always get the benefit of the doubt. Georgetown rolled with Patrick Ewing for years and years before they finally could. And I'm not comparing the success or lack thereof of what's happened at Georgetown to Memphis. Memphis is not some also-ran that's a crappy program that can't win 15 games. They're winning over 20 games every year, but that is not the benchmark anymore. So maybe that's what he's talking about, that it used to be once you won 20 games, you can wipe your hands, you've done your job. But he knows better than that. He knows it's all about the results in the postseason. It's all about getting to the postseason. And they have a chance to rectify it this week. But they've put themselves into that position. Whatever the issues are with the team, that's your team. Those are your players. I will not back down from what I always say about coaches. I've said it with Ole Miss coaches, with anybody, that they are the CEO. And what happens within their program, they are responsible for. And if that status is not making the tournament, then you're going to be criticized. And the overall 6-year stint, good, but not great and not up to the standards of Memphis. And I think Penny really, I think he knows that on the inside, but he didn't say that last night. Nobody is saying he's done this horrible job, but it has to pick up, because if they don't get to the dance, again, that's a couple of times with one total victory in the last half dozen years.
If they don't make the NCAA tournament this year, it is an epic disaster.
This team this year, no question.
I mean, and again, they're going the wrong way. I don't know how long can you any other coach everybody in the city would want fired.
Yes. A lot of them would.
For him to act like there's like people are being unfair to him, every other coach, the whole city would want fired.
Yeah, here's the thing.
He
That's
also
why I
said when you're putting teams together, 12 to 13 guys every year, you never know when that's going to gel. When we won early, it spoiled all of us. Then when you go the other way, it's weird. I'm the first to say we had some really bad losses at home and didn't take care of business, but the chemistry has to be there. It's not just about talent. Again, he's the one choosing to build the roster this way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's run off guys that would have stayed. He ran them off, so didn't want them. He's the one choosing to go get an entire new roster every year. He's like blaming that on like that's your roster construction.
Yeah, the statement is accurate, but he's the one who has put together that roster. And I have said before that I don't have an issue in this day and age of doing that. Yeah, you'd like to develop some young players, but also young players, if they're not ready to play and you don't play them, then they're going to want to hit the transfer portal. It's a very sticky situation for coaches in this day and age with the transfer portal. So I still don't have a problem with Penny going out there and trying to get the best players, but he has to have a game plan in not just going out and let me get this guy because he's really good, this guy's really good. And I'm not saying he doesn't, but when I look at this team, they're missing certain ingredients. So you got to go out there, you got to find the right ingredients to make the cake. The cake's not going to taste good if you're missing ingredients. So that's on him. Again, it all falls back on him. But I don't think people have been overly critical to Penny. In fact, like you said, I think for the most part, especially the Memphis faithful, they've been lenient because they love him. Nobody is denying what Penny means. Penny means so much. And yes, again, Penny's original statement of, I didn't have to do this. No, you did not have to do this. And the program was really down. The program is still struggling a bit. It's not taking that leap and bound that we thought right away would happen. And all of a sudden there'd be 16,000, 17,000 packing into that arena every game. That has not been the case. Winning will bring that. Winning will bring that type of fan base back. Again, it's very hard. It's a hard situation for everybody. The administration, it's a hard situation. But I understand your question. This is Penny Hardaway. He's going to get certainly the benefit of the doubt. They've had some success, not as much as you really need to have for this program. Doesn't mean, again, that there should be a change, but he's got to get it done. Next season's got to be a pivotal season for him because, again, you can't take another step in the wrong direction like you are if you miss the tournament this year. You're taking a step backwards, like you said, and especially a team that was in the position that they were in. 10th in the country, certainly going to the NCAA tournament. That was the furthest thing from our minds that this team could miss the dance where they were just a few months ago. But again, I don't think the bar has raised at all. I do not think the bar has raised. I think the bar has always been high for this program. Maybe we look at this program as it's better than what it really is.
Again,
I don't know.
If they miss the tournament this year and he is the head coach next year, the bar has clearly been lowered.
Yeah, well, yes, I guess it has. But that's why I'm asking.
Tubby got 2 years. I didn't hear Penny defending Tubby when they fired him.
Right. But, again, Tubby an outsider, Penny an insider. That's why I asked the question, what are the expectations? We talk about it a lot. We talked about basketball before. We talked about football before, what the expectations are. And with basketball, again, in this conference, while sure it was competitive in conference games this year, it was competitive, but it shouldn't be for Memphis, right? Memphis, Florida Atlantic, going into this season, should have absolutely dominated. You're going to lose a game every once in a while, but Memphis finished tied for 5th in the conference. They don't get the double bye. That's a disappointment. So what are the expectations? We're not going to lower the bar, right? It has to be 3 out of 4 years going to the NCAA tournament. It has to be. If not, I don't know what we're talking about here. Again, maybe our expectations are too high. as a program? Maybe they are. I don't think so, though, in what Memphis has done historically with basketball. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Connor O'Gara joins us as he does every other Tuesday to talk college football. We'll give you the opportunity to talk about Penny's comments a little bit later on in the show. We got plenty of NFL to get to as well. We'll talk some Grizzlies, plus Jeff Crane and Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. Just underway on a Tuesday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, Mid-South, you'll never guess who I got on the line. It's Jason, the main man Marshall, and he's ready to rock at Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike. Hey, where you been, main man Marshall?
Randy, I've been selling cars like candy bars at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike.
So, Jason, what can the good people of Memphis expect from you over at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Huge savings? We Gossett. Huge inventory? We Gossett. Atlas, Crossports, Jettas, Taos, Tiguan. Whatever you're looking for, we Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike.
Well, there's no doubt about it. If the main man Marshall says he's Gossett, then I'm telling you, you don't need to go anywhere else.
That's right, Randy, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
So be sure to ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online anytime, 24/7, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging forward and charging less every day. Come see me at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike.
All vehicles include all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week.
Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, 225 Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Just a couple of accidents out here at this point. They're still working over here on 55 on the bridge. That's going to go on for another couple of weeks. Still complicating things at times for folks not used to it yet. Coming over from West Memphis. Traffic's on the increase at the moment on 55 up through South Haven. That still looks good coming up from DeSoto County all the way in and through South Memphis. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:30 the time. Hour 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. In the middle of March Madness, or at least the start, I guess, technically, of March Madness. The dance hasn't started, but the conference tournaments continue to be exciting and should be this week, then Selection Sunday, and then we get the big dance starting next week. But while that's happening, also spring football all around the country is beginning, including in the SEC. It's time to talk some college football with Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
He is Connor O'Gara, senior national columnist for Saturday Down South, Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Catch him every other week talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Connor.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing pretty good. You excited about DeAndre Swift going to Chicago?
What's a kind way to say this? Look, I'm excited for the simple fact that the Bears never really do that in free agency. They don't really spend on a running back. I had talked myself into it being my favorite NFL player currently, which is Saquon Barkley going to the Bears. So I was a little bit disappointed that it was Swift instead of Barkley, who, look, I think Swift has a lot of miles on those legs, and I do worry about those legs specifically compared to Saquon. So, look, I'm happy, but I was hoping for the top prize.
I hear you, and there's still a lot to happen. See what's going on with Justin Fields. Other teams that seem to be in the mix for him have gone another route with quarterback. So I'll be curious to see what they end up doing with the quarterback, because obviously Caleb Williams is going to be their pick at number 1.
Yeah, it's going to be, and I've accepted that. It's a really weird feeling, and I don't get to talk about my fandom very much, so I apologize if nobody cares about that at all. But it is a weird feeling as a fan to be like, this guy that I have invested so much in the last 3 years, my franchise, is very soon just going to say, you know what, he's actually not going to be the guy. For a franchise that is so starved for quality quarterback play like the one that I root for, that has essentially had one decent quarterback in my lifetime, I tell myself every guy is the guy. So if Caleb Williams is not the guy, I might just have to be done. I said the same exact thing about Justin Fields with the Bears, that if he didn't work out, that I would be done as a Bears fan. But I didn't know that they were going to have the number 1 pick and get Caleb Williams. So I think my ultimatum is lifted for the time being.
Well, it looks like they're getting the new stadium situation resolved.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'll believe it when I see it actually put into motion. And, they're doing the thing that they should have done 20 years ago. What a crazy thought. If you do these things, you can actually host Final Fours and national championships and Big Ten tournaments, like this city of Indianapolis that does sports a million times better than the city of Chicago. It's not even close. It's a very sore subject for me, but I'm glad to see that they're getting with the times a quarter century after they should have.
Well, sorry to get you in a bad mood to start this segment off. You wrote about 4 or 5 days ago about Kalen DeBoer, and how he's kind of hit the ground running, doing things differently than his predecessor, some guy named Saban, and that he's a little more open. He has his coordinators available to the media. They also can maybe watch a little bit of practice, that kind of stuff, which you didn't get with Nick Saban. Do you believe that's who DeBoer is, or is he kind of reaching out to the media with an olive branch early, just in case things don't go that well for him?
No, this is who he is. I mean, this is somebody who spent the vast majority of his career up until a couple of years ago at small schools. I mean, he doesn't know, like, hey, you're actually supposed to be really standoffish with media. He's got time to figure that out. Trust me. Like, lose a game at Alabama, and very quickly you'll realize how quickly things can change for you. But no, I think this is just who he is. These are his roots. I mean, this is somebody that is coming from smaller programs like, my alma mater, Indiana, where, I'm old enough to remember when I could go sit down at Indiana practices for like an hour, 2 hours, talk to pretty much whoever we wanted afterwards, and it wasn't a big deal. Like, there are certain places that are just very different about it than Alabama, which pretends like it is holding the secrets of the Pentagon, and God forbid anybody actually gets some of that private information. But yeah, it is very much a different era. He's going to go about things very differently, and it's all going to be about how he handles it. How do you handle that criticism? Do you get jaded when it feels like you don't have that high approval rating that you have right now, where Alabama fans are going to bat for him because everybody on the outside is saying, oh, he's going to be, this second coming of Brian Harsin or whatever. I just think things are going to be done differently in Tuscaloosa, and we're getting used to it right now.
What's your feelings on the moving the early signing period up before the conference championship games, and the possibility of adding a summer signing period?
What a mess. What a mess. There's maybe no good way to do this other than just let kids sign whenever they want. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that at this point? Think about it. We're well past the ceremonious occasion that is signing day. Okay, the toothpaste is out of the tooth. That's never happening again. With just one true February signing day, that is gone in today's age of college football, and we can't get that back. But we could do is just let these kids sign a document whenever they want that they want to go to a specific college. Because here's a little secret. They can transfer whenever they want. So who cares? Who cares? Why do we need to make it some it needs to be this starting date and that starting date? I get coaches want to have all of their ducks in a row, but if they can transfer and get out of their letters of intent, like Alabama had kids that showed up on campus and then they had a new coaching staff come in and they're like, see ya, we're leaving. Like that type of thing can happen no matter when this signing period is. So why not just let these kids sign whenever they want? That to me would make so much more sense than trying to do 3 different signing periods. And you're going to have this during conference championship week when the best teams in college football are going to be a little bit preoccupied. Like, it's just weird, and it doesn't feel like there's actually a good solution other than the one that I just brought up.
Well,
Preach.
Yeah, the one thing. Well, there's many things that bother me about that, and you just talked about some of it. But also the fact that the portal opens up. Is the portal open up like now or at the very end of spring football?
End of spring football.
Okay.
I think it's mid-April was when the window opens, and then it goes. It's like 2 or 3 weeks that it's open, and that's just to be able to put your name into the portal. So yeah, they're trying to base things on that as well, and they're trying not to have a situation where all of a sudden kids are getting offers pulled because they got this spot filled by a transfer or something like that. Like, I get it; it's a lot of moving pieces. But just let them sign whenever they want. And instead, you won't have all these verbal commits that are flipping constantly. And just sign. If you know what school you want to go to, just sign with that school like the rest of the population does.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could talk to you about that for an hour and the pros and cons. I'm not going to go down that avenue today. But I did want to mention again that spring portal opening up. That's just it's a whole different time where there's going to be transactions up the yin-yang. And to me, it's crazy because you're going to have, it depends on the program, obviously, and, of course, the individual player, but possibly mass exoduses from schools. If players in spring don't feel that they're getting the totes, it looks like they're going to be third on the depth chart, even though we haven't even gotten to camp yet in August. This is going to be these opportunities for these players to move on and find another destination. And all of a sudden, you're going to have all these transactions coming up like they did last year, which I thought was crazy.
But here's the thing, Greg. Like, I don't think that window in the spring has nearly the same type of mass exodus that we see in the post-regular season window.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And also, like, while I criticize the 30-day window that is available for players to be able to transfer after their coach either leaves or whatever, steps down, that window still allows for that opportunity. Like Alabama, like how many more guys is Alabama really going to have at the portal? Now, I think Alabama is going to be way more active in being able to bring guys in, as opposed to having all of a sudden they're going to have 12 guys that they lose in the post-spring window because they don't really like how they're being viewed by the new coaching staff. I think a lot of that hay is kind of in the barn, and they've had their opportunity. So, look, you're right. I mean, there's no perfect solution. There absolutely is not, and the portal definitely plays a part in it. But it just kind of feels like we're hopefully going to get to a place where we can at least acknowledge that the post-spring window isn't necessarily as drastic as that post-regular season window.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. All right, spring ball. Give me 2 or 3 storylines you're going to be looking for in spring, especially with newcomers who are still technically in the Big 12 in Texas and Oklahoma, but obviously will be playing in the SEC come fall.
Well, Arch Manning not being in a video game, big storyline. Look, I actually do think that
you kid, but it became a big story for a couple days for some stupid reason.
I wrote about it, so I can't even criticize the coverage of it. Look, I think that there are a lot of interesting storylines in the SEC during spring camp, and Alabama has gone from being like a really boring team to all of a sudden this team that's loaded with intrigue. Like, what does this new offense look like with Jalen Milroe? Is this going to be an Alabama team that is, like I said, super active in the portal, that once that window opens up, like, what does this new post-Saban world look like? And then I think that you could go and look at a team like LSU that had a complete overhaul on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of discussion about Harold Perkins and his role as an off-ball linebacker, and he's staying at that spot. And Blake Baker's defense, who comes over from Mizzou, but what exactly is it going to look like post-snap? I think there's a lot of intrigue there. Does Auburn actually stick with Peyton Thorne as its starting quarterback? Are we really doing that in year 2 of the Hugh Freeze era? I'm very interested to see what that post-spring quarterback window looks like. I talked about that a lot in the episode of the Saturday Down South podcast that just dropped this morning. And there are, I think, a lot of teams that are going to be looking to add a quarterback. Tennessee is another one where they desperately need quarterback depth behind Nico Iamaleava, still crushing the pronunciation of that one. But like, what exactly does that market look like? I think that's going to be more of the intrigue with spring camp and the way that we're wrapping up things in a few weeks here.
The transfer of Drew Pine to Missouri, a big deal. Do you like him?
It's a big deal because of the Sam Horn injury. Sam Horn is the guy that Mizzou fans have been clamoring for to be the quarterback for the future. He is a baseball player and a football player, and him having Tommy John surgery is a big deal. And it's more a byproduct of that than anything else. So I think Mizzou fans are a bit relieved that there's a little bit more assurance behind Brady Cook, and you need to be able to run your offense too. Like, that's the important thing to remember in this day and age of college football. As much as we talk about how much of a struggle it is for there to be quarterback depth in your room because of the fluidity of quarterback rooms, you need that guy behind your starter so that you can actually run your offense and you can feel like your quarterback can go sneak it on 3rd and 1 or something like that. Or, hey, we can do a design run for him and not have a limited version of our offense, because that's, I think, what Mizzou was fearing. And with a team that could start off in the top 15, or at least should, with realistic playoff aspirations in this new 12-team era, you needed to be able to make sure that you had a guy like that, a Drew Pine, who has at least had starts at the Power 5 level and came in for Tyler Buckner for that Notre Dame team a couple of years ago. But, yeah, I wouldn't look into it much more than just that.
What blew me away is that he's got 3 years of eligibility left.
I mean, here's the thing, Eli. If you think a guy has eligibility left, he does. That's the way that it works. And here's the thing: we're well past the COVID season. That's the crazy thing, is that we're still seeing guys who you look up and you're like, wait a minute, they have 2 years of eligibility. Like, do we realize that Jalen Milroe and Carson Beck still have 2 years of eligibility? I mean, think about that. They don't have to go to the NFL after the 2024 season. They could, in theory, return for another year after that, but we assume that they will be gone to the NFL. Everybody's got eligibility. You, me, that person that you saw down the street, like all of us have eligibility. So we just assume that everybody will be playing college football forever.
You know what's interesting? You're talking like a general manager would for an NFL team, but it makes sense. It's apropos in this day and age of collegiate football, big-time college football. But it's interesting. Last year with Ole Miss, Sanders comes over from Oklahoma State, and you think it's going to be a legitimate battle with Jackson Dart, but it really wasn't. So he came, took whatever money they gave him as a backup quarterback and insurance for Dart. The way you talked about with Pine, it seems like it's the same situation. But with all those years of eligibility left, and you would think that there would be an opportunity somewhere else to go and play as a starter. So I'm always, not always, because it's only been a few years now that we've had to really think about this question, going to a place to be a backup where you may get some pretty good NIL coin even as a backup quarterback, as opposed to maybe a smaller school where you would start and the NIL money's not, and I'm not saying that's the only reason he went, but I'm sure it's part of it. I wonder what goes through the minds of these quarterbacks when they're making those decisions.
It's not a bad life. It's really not. And specific to the Mizzou situation, Kirby Moore is super connected. He is a guy that, brother of Kellen Moore. He's got NFL ties as well. He worked under that Kalen DeBoer tree. He's a very connected guy. So if you say to yourself, like a lot of these kids at this stage of life, hey, I'm either going to have some sort of wild pass in the NFL, or alternatively, maybe I want to go into coaching. It kind of pays to be in a situation like that. And I'm not saying that was the mindset of Spencer Sanders, who was the MVP of a New Year's Six Bowl, who I probably said on this show and many others, I think he's going to beat out Jackson Dart and win the starting job. Like, that's not necessarily the approach that everyone has, but there are benefits to that. And I think that's the sell for a program like Tennessee right now. It's like, hey, work with Josh Heupel. Yeah, you're going to be a backup quarterback. We're going to tell you you're going to be a backup quarterback, but make some money, and you're one injury away from being able to play, and we can still run our offense with you. So I think there is a lot of appeal to it. It's probably not quite at the level of NFL backup a la Chase Daniel, but look, good money is hard to find, and if you can get it, I say go ahead and do it.
He is the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South, host of the Saturday Down South podcast. Easier for me to say. He is Connor O'Gara. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Catch him every other week talking with us here on Sports 56 Morning. So a couple of weeks from now, I'm sure we'll have a little bit more on what's going on around the SEC as far as spring ball is concerned. Good luck with Justin Fields and whatever trade happens, Connor. Good luck with the Bears. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
From your lips to God's ears. Appreciate it, fellas.
Thanks, Connor.
The Drew Pine thing, he was at Notre Dame, left to go to Arizona State. He's apparently back at Notre Dame right now in order taking classes, I think, this semester to graduate from Notre Dame, to have his Notre Dame degree. So he will have been to Notre Dame, left, came back, leave again, and have 3 years of eligibility left.
It's crazy.
He's played 4 years of college football already. He's got 3 years of eligibility left.
Well, we've had those players that have played 7 years. What was the guy's name from UTSA? The quarterback was there 7 seasons. Finally used up his eligibility.
That's what Pine, if he plays out, will be will play 7 years of college football. I saw that he had 3 years of eligibility.
Frank Harris.
Was like, what in the world? Just like how's he have 3 years? I was like, he played at Notre Dame. Went to Arizona State, and he still has 3 years of eligibility. But yeah, it is anymore. You just have to assume everybody has unlimited eligibility.
Right.
until you're told they don't have eligibility, just assume they've got multiple years of eligibility left. This hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince is where you'll find them. That's where you'll find the Big Green Egg. Had mine fired up last night to do a little cooking with the beautiful weather we've been having. Boy, it's a great opportunity to fire up that grill. And if you're going to do that, You want the best grill there is? That's the Big Green Egg, and that's what you'll find over at East Memphis Ace Hardware. They're a platinum dealer of the Big Green Egg, all the different sizes of the egg, all the egg accessories as well. You'll find them at East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos. A better, easier way to get term life insurance. All online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Strike.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, big to little, finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and Weber grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even new keys with key fob programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws, you need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Quince and White Station.
It's time to triple your savings with Gossett's Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Truck Month and Dodge Power Shot Days all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4? We Gossett $5,052 off MSRP. That's Jeep Renegade Latitude $24,988. How about new 2023 Jeep Cherokee Altitude 4x4? We Gossett $33,230. That's $8,000 off MSRP. And Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike has 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $14,000 off MSRP. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett on the Pike or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Renegade Triple P 56029 MSRP 30,040. Altitude PD 10 3653 MSRP 41,230. Gladiator PL 570 369 MSRP 64,925. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The Memphis Tigers will leave for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex sometime today. Get ready for the American Conference Tournament. They will play on Thursday. They'll play the winner of tomorrow's matchup between number 13 seed Rice and number 12 seed Wichita State. Penny Hardaway met the media last night after his weekly radio show. He had posted on his, and I'm not on Instagram, but I saw the post from Parth where he had posted a couple of pictures. Penny did, I guess, on Sunday. And on one side, it's a sign that says, "Forget being perfect, be you. It's better." And on the other side is a picture of the championship trophy from last year's American Conference tournament. And then last night, Penny was asked about that and other things. And again, he said, as I mentioned to start the show, this is from Penny, "It's just funny to me how guys are always talking about I need to be fired. Man, I took this job because it was as low as it had been. I gave up my retirement to come here and help the University of Memphis and the city. I feel like I've done a great job." We've had some reaction to that. I asked the question about the expectations. He thinks the bar is higher. I think the bar is the same, and that bar is something that is a challenge, but for Memphis in the position they're in, with the history that they have for this program, and in the conference that they're playing in, now with Houston gone, that making the NCAA tournament 3 out of every 4 years is not too much to ask for. And then doing some damage once you get there is what differentiates you as a coach from other coaches. You have to have success once you get there, but you have to get there. They were the last 2 years, they've won the one tournament game.
He also on Instagram said it will never be enough in some people's eyes. Damned if you do or don't. No, if you do go to the NCAA tournament and win games, you will not be damned.
No.
It's just
you will be.
If you do finish fifth in a conference, a bad conference, yes, people are not going to be happy with that. Like I don't understand
and it is,
how hard this is to understand.
And it is, what have you done for me lately? Obviously, last year was a disappointing end, losing that game that they should have won against Florida Atlantic, but they did beat Houston. They won the conference tournament championship. So you look at last year and you go, okay, it was a disappointing finish, but it was a good season. This year, if you don't make the tournament, you can only deem it being a disappointing season because they were 10th at one point. So, yes, now it's all about this year. It's not about last year, and it's about moving forward with that hopefully upward trajectory. But if you don't make the tournament, it's certainly not an upward trajectory from where you were last year.
I mean, all they had to do this year was beat Rice at home, and one of these other games probably, and they'd be probably in the tournament.
Right.
I mean, it's beat Rice and South Florida on your home floor. Hold on to a 20-point second-half lead against South Florida and beat Rice. You'd probably be in right now without an issue.
Got some texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin text line.
Drew texts in, says Penny is delusional, and this shows he will never change. David said it's not even debatable. He hasn't done a great job. He's delusional. Max says, I'd give Penny a C-. The expectations he's coaching under are the ones he's set with top recruits and transfers. He said he wanted the smoke, and now he's whining. Just win. Ron says, I don't think Penny's won any regular season championships and only one conference tournament. Where would Memphis be if they had gotten into the Big 12? Yeah, they have not won any regular season titles. He has the one tournament title last year. In the regular season, they've finished 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, 5th, 5th, going backwards from this year back. So 3 fifth-place finishes in that time, but no first-place finishes.
What, again, I would agree with Penny is what he said about the program was at a pretty low level. He could have done anything he wanted to. He took over the program. That was his decision. I mean, he's paid handsomely. It's not like he's doing it for free. But he's right. He could have done anything. He has all the money. He doesn't have to work. That's the one thing I agree. I completely disagree with him talking about the bar being raised for him. The bar has always been pretty high for Memphis basketball. Just look at the history, and he knows it. He's part of the history.
Josh Pastner was going to the NCAA tournament regularly, missed it 2 years, fired. So, again, the standard has been there. They want NCAA tournaments, and they want NCAA tournament wins.
Right. The standard is the same for every coach. It has not been the bar's not been higher or lowered. But as far as for him personally, thinking that there's more on him because of who he is, I would say no. There's less on him because there's less scrutiny. You're not going to – Penny Hardaway wasn't going to be fired in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Tubby Smith was gone in 2 years. So you get more of the benefit of the doubt being as beloved as you are, and he is beloved. There's no question about that. But again, I mean, your expectation – I'm surprised because I can guarantee as a player and growing up in Memphis, he expected Memphis State to be in the tournament every year. And as a player, his few years that he was here, where he started, obviously going to the tournament, he would expect that every year from every team coached by any coach. And sure, there were down years for Calipari, no question about it. Then they got it going, and they rolled once they got it going. Penny, last year, took a step forward, I thought, even though it was a crashing end of the season in the tournament. This year, the expectations were high, the team he assembled, and they got off to the great start. And they plummeted. And that's nobody's fault but him, the coaching staff, the team. It's not the outsiders who have criticized. There's nothing they can do, right? And again, it's all on the coach, assembling the team, starting the right players, having the right rotation, being able to transfer what you want them to do to their brains, and then the execution on the court.
Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended. That's where you'll find it. If you've got a special occasion coming up, maybe an anniversary, maybe a birthday, maybe you're thinking about popping the question and getting engaged. Well, one place you need to go for any jewelry that you're looking for, that would be Genesis Diamonds. They've been here just about a year now, and they have been a game changer to the jewelry scene here in Memphis. People have been blown away when they go see them. Don't buy anywhere else until you go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. When it comes to selection, when it comes to prices, when it comes to service, they will blow you away. They've cornered the market on the most acclaimed designer rings. They have all of the top 10 designers in the bridal world, thousands of handcrafted rings made by premier designers. The selection of diamonds, talking about a former diamond wholesaler, importer, well, that more buying power than you can imagine. The selection of diamonds, whether it be lab-grown diamonds, natural diamonds, whatever, absolutely out of this world. It's something for every budget. Genesis Diamonds, that's the place to go. Prepare to be blown away. Poplar and Perkins Extended.
NFL news continues to come in fast and furious. We'll update you on everything that's going on. Big names on the move. That's coming up next as we open up Hour 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now, I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched?
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We Gossett $289 a month. Both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 24,7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49,9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun, 2770 Witten Road, and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They continue to work on 55 on the bridge. It's still catching some folks off guard that's coming over from West Memphis, having to use I-40 eastbound this morning over from Crittenden County. Still moving out here right now on 240 now. It can get busy. 240 west, making your way past Sam Cooper towards Walnut Grove. It's finally starting to get a little bit busier than it was a few minutes ago on 385 Billmores Parkway coming inbound towards 240. Weimer's Jewelry, they're located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:05 the time, hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, March 12th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 44 degrees, on the way up to 72 today. Sunshine, should be a beautiful day. 55 tonight. Not too bad. And then tomorrow we're looking at 77 for a high, with some clouds rolling in, but pretty much a partly sunny day with limited precipitation in the forecast. So it should be a couple of really, really nice days here in Memphis and the Mid-South. Our second hour sponsor each and every day is James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. They are your family's jeweler. You want a jeweler who's been in the business a long time and knows what he's talking about. That's James. He's a master jeweler, a certified appraiser, a diamondologist, and he's also graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. He's a local guy, went to Christian Brothers High School, a Memphian through and through. You want that family atmosphere. Head on over to James Gaddis Jewelers for your engagement rings, your wedding rings, watches of all types, custom-made jewelry, gemstones, every gemstone you could think of, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, plus the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. And they're always adding to their collection. You can go in today and then come back a couple days from now. There's going to be different things there. That's what they do. They always add to their collection. Layaway and financing is available. They have 2 repair experts to help you with your fine watches and jewelry. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. By the way, the Grizzlies tonight, Washington. Tomorrow, Charlotte. I think I said in the first hour, Detroit. I have Detroit on the mind from yesterday. Watching actually James Wiseman start to play a little better. All of a sudden, Jalen Duren, the starter, the former Tiger. James Wiseman, the former Tiger, the backup center. But he's been on a nice little roll the last 5 games or so. Hopefully that he'll be able to continue, and whether it's in Detroit or somewhere else in the future, can put it together and play and live up to those expectations. But tonight, again, the Grizzlies in action. They'll take on the Washington Wizards. We got more on the Grizzlies a little bit later on in the show as we talk about a story that's out there now about the possibility of some new revenue stream to fill the gap between what the state and other taxes can give the city to renovate FedEx Forum for the Grizzlies and what they're missing right now. So we'll discuss that a little bit later on. But as promised, time to talk some NFL.
First, we'll get to Humdinger's Trivia.
Oh, Humdinger's Trivia. Sorry, I forgot completely.
Each and every Tuesday, we give you an opportunity to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. When you go to the Humdinger's website, humdingersrestaurant.com, where you can check out their entire menu, right there on the front page, it says flame grilled and flavor filled. And that is a very accurate description of all the great options on the menu, from the great grilled fish options, of course, on Tuesdays. It's Taco Tuesday. That means the chicken and fish tacos are just $2 each, and you can take advantage of that each and every Tuesday. Some of their great sides. They've got their chicken dishes, of course. On Fridays, they've got the special on the crispy fish and chips. So many different things to choose from over at Humdinger's. Poplar and Massey is where you'll find them. That's where you're going to find that delicious food, a lot of healthy food, inexpensive as well. If you've got an event you need catered, they certainly could take care of that as well at Humdinger's. And, of course, they've got a new look here recently. If you haven't been there in a while, you need to check them out. The place has a new look, and there's some new items on the menu as well that maybe you have not tried yet. You get on over there to Humdinger's to check those out. If you are the first to answer today's trivia question correctly, well, then you will get the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's, and you can answer via text on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in the answers, and the first correct answer will get that $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. And here is the question, which I'm pretty sure I did. I had to do some research for this one. I'm pretty sure I've got this all correct. I hope I did. Hope I didn't miss anything. With the conference tournament coming up for the Memphis Tigers, there are two teams in the current American Athletic Conference that have ever beaten the Tigers in a conference tournament game. Which two teams? There's only two teams in the current American Athletic Conference that have ever beaten the Tigers in a conference tournament game in the history of Tigers basketball. Which two teams is it? So again, you got to give me both. 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in those answers. And again, the first correct answer will get the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. Speaking of the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, some more texts here. Paul texts in, says, Calipari took over the basketball program at its lowest point, not Penny, and it's not even close. Dwayne says, Penny, just shut up and show us you're worthy of this program. You're not going to get a benefit of the doubt just because you played here. Your ex-coach Finch was relieved of duty, and it looks like the job is too big for you. Prove us wrong. Tennessee Tom says, Butch Jones called, wants to give Memphis the Champions of Life trophy. Which is funny.
So Butch has that right now in Jonesboro, huh?
I don't know if he still has it or not. He might have given it.
It's over in the corner somewhere, right?
I don't know.
In his office?
I don't know if he has it or if Tennessee kept it or how that works with the Champions of Life trophy.
Speaking of champions, Buster Douglas, who knocked out Mike Tyson, one of the biggest upsets in sports history. Remember yesterday, it had to be yesterday, we were talking about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Was it yesterday?
So it was Friday. They all blind. We were talking about it anyway. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Buster Douglas will face Michael Spinks in a celebrity boxing match this summer. So that's what you got to look forward to, folks, this summer. You got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson pay-per-view, which will actually do incredibly well. If this ever happens, right, and it's supposed to, but you never know, there could be hiccups. That thing will do really, really well. I guarantee you, because people are going to want Tyson to knock Paul's teeth out. But Spinks and Douglas at 63, Michael Spinks at 67. I told you the story, covered Tyson Spinks, Atlantic City, New Jersey, 91 seconds. Tyson knocked him out. So Michael Spinks, who, first of all, shockingly, is still alive. I know his brother Leon has passed away. Buster Douglas at 63, who had the one moment. Big moment, incredible moment, but the one moment.
His one shining moment.
His one shining moment. NFL, my gosh, the last few days has been just chock full of incredible names and moves that have been made. I mean, every name seems to be a big name, including a bunch of former Memphis Tigers that are on the move. First of all, big story from yesterday was Tony Pollard. According to reports, he's headed to the Titans, 3-year deal, $24 million for the former Cowboy running back, Tony Pollard, who played at the University of Memphis and has stepped up. I mean, he was good at Memphis, was more of a returner, and has become a very prolific running back. Although last year, after Zeke Elliott was let go by Dallas, he struggled a bit, and now he'll be the workhorse in Tennessee. So that seals the deal as far as the Derrick Henry era in Nashville. He's still looking for a home, but Tony Pollard to the Titans. So fans of Tony Pollard, friends, family, a lot easier trip, 3 hours to the east.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't think it ever came out of exactly how much is guaranteed of that deal.
Yeah, I didn't see
that's
that.
a little surprising to me that he was able to get that much. But I don't. Again, there may not be much. Who knows after year one, possibly if there's much guarantee. And with all of these deals, the guaranteed money is the big part of that.
Sure.
But good for him to get that to get the basically $8 million a year. And you know. It was not a good year for him last year in Dallas, but and we'll see how they use him and Tyjae Spears and how they kind of manage that workload between the two of them. But I do think Pollard certainly still has some good years left in him.
Antonio Gibson goes from the Commanders to the Patriots, so he'll play for Gerard Mayo. Austin Eckler gets a 2-year deal with the Commanders, so I guess he replaces Antonio Gibson. Eckler, who was the touchdown machine with the Chargers.
Yeah, this last season for him was a really, really bad year by his standards. I don't know if that means he is kind of losing it or what, because the years prior to that he was awesome, and be interesting to see what he's able to do. They didn't have to pay him a whole lot of money. It's a very affordable contract if he gets anything close to what he was before this past year.
So many running backs in the news yesterday and already this morning. Josh Jacobs signs a deal with the Packers.
Yeah, the Packers, that's an interesting move to switch from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. Jacobs is younger. I guess that's what they're seeing there. But that one I did not expect. I would not have expected the switch from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs.
Aaron Jones has had a great run for the last 7 years in Green Bay. He's let go, and now, according to reports this morning, he's going to stay in the same division. He's inking a 1-year deal worth $7 million. Again, not sure how much of it is guaranteed with the Vikings.
So I like Aaron Jones. Once I saw the news yesterday, I was hoping maybe that would wake up the Cowboys and they would actually do something, but obviously not.
Well, my prediction is the Cowboys will get Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon cut by the Bengals. Do you like Mixon?
I do like Mixon. That's another one I was a little surprised by that move to let him go and go to Zach Moss. But if the Cowboys went and got Mixon, I would be happy with that.
Yeah, who knew there was...
I really want Derrick Henry, but I don't know that that's good. I doubt that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, who knew there were so many people interested in the Colts' backup running back, but there was a few of them, according to Schefter, and he'll replace Joe Mixon in Cincinnati. So Mixon looking for a home. Derrick Henry is looking for a home. Other running back news, DeAndre Swift, he leaves Philadelphia. He goes to the Bears. We talked to Conor O'Gara about that. 3 years, $24 million. Saquon Barkley will go from the Giants to the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 years, $37.75 million.
Yeah, he got paid. More money. It could be worth up to $46 million. It won't be. But it was. I did not expect that much money for any of these running backs. But Barkley is obviously a terrific player, and for him to go from that Giants offensive line to the Eagles offensive line, even minus Jason Kelsey, is a huge upgrade. And that one scares me. That one scares me as a Cowboys fan. with the run defense of the Cowboys, Barkley added to that offense. That was a little frightening.
Of course, it had to be Saquon, man. it had to be.
I would have really wanted him to go anywhere other than Philadelphia, quite honestly.
Just go to the AFC, man. But gotta stay within the division.
To bring in Austin Eckler and Saquon Barkley staying in the division and Eckler coming in the division. Eesh, I don't like that.
One of the guys, well, here's another guy in the division. One of the guys that the Giants signed to fill the hole with Saquon Barkley going to Philadelphia, Devin Singletary. He gets a 3-year deal. He was with, Buffalo last year?
No,
he was with
the
Houston.
Texans.
Oh, with the Texans. Okay. Also, I mentioned the situation with Joe Mixon being let go, Aaron Jones signing this morning. Again, according to reports, everything is still talk right now, right? The official signing starts tomorrow?
Tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock Central Time is when contracts for the guys who are on expiring contracts. If you've been released or you're a free agent, then you could sign your deal already. And that's why a lot of some of these have already been signed. But these guys who have expiring contracts, they are not able to sign until tomorrow afternoon.
Mentioned 2 former Tigers in Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson, a third, and he's getting paid. And what a career he's putting together. Bryce Huff from the University of Memphis signs with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was with the Jets. He gets a 3-year, $51.1 million deal. He becomes the highest paid non-quarterback undrafted free agent in league history. Let me say that again. The highest paid non-quarterback undrafted free agent in league history.
Yeah, he is, pretty quietly. I don't think people realize how good of a career he's put together. Like analytics-wise, last year he had a terrific year I think he was like second to Micah Parsons in winning versus pass blocking, stuff like pass rush wins and stuff. He has really become a terrific pass rusher, and great for him to get that type of contract.
Yeah, he just gets to the quarterback seemingly every play. Speaking of defensive lineman, Christian Wilkins goes from Miami to the Raiders. 4 years, $110 million. He got paid.
He did indeed. He is a great player. He and Max Crosby on that defensive line together is a scary proposition for teams trying to block them, and he will make life easier on Max Crosby. But he is awesome. Wilkins is absolutely awesome.
Yesterday we talked about some of the quarterback moves that were made. Here's more that happened yesterday afternoon. Kirk Cousins, the big quarterback free agent out there, 4-year, $180 million deal with the Falcons, gets a $50 million signing bonus. I had my friends text me, go, we don't understand. Why Kirk Cousins? Why not Kirk Cousins? Atlanta feels like they have a really good team that the one thing they were missing was a quarterback. If Kirk Cousins can stay healthy and Atlanta can protect him, he puts up numbers every year. Why wouldn't he with some of those skill position players that they have in Atlanta? I'm not saying Atlanta's winning the Super Bowl, but it is a huge upgrade from Desmond Ridder to get Kirk Cousins for a 4-year deal. Whether he'll play 4 years, yet to be seen, but hasn't played one down for that team. But I think all of a sudden now you got to look at Atlanta as a very competitive team.
Yeah, I mean, that division is there for the taking. And certainly Kirk Cousins is a major upgrade. Now, that's a lot of money to pay a quarterback of his age coming off an Achilles injury. But if it works out, could work out very well for them.
In the meantime, the Vikings have signed Sam Darnold. Doesn't mean they won't do anything else with the quarterback position, but Darnold has at least a shot in Minnesota. Gardner Minshew signs a 2-year deal with the Raiders for $25 million, so he leaves the Colts as he took over for Anthony Richardson once Richardson got hurt. It'll be interesting to see if the Raiders do anything else with quarterbacks, whether or not they draft one. You got O'Connell, who's a young guy from last year, and Gardner Minshew now, who is a veteran, not this aging veteran. The guy hasn't been around that long, but he's a very, very capable quarterback. And the Patriots are expected to sign Jacoby Brissett. Didn't he play there once before, Brissett? in New England as a backup?
I believe he was there.
Yeah,
yes.
he was the third string backup.
Third string. Okay, so he'll go to – but, again, Brissett doesn't mean he's going to be the starter. We'll see what New England wants to do, if they're going to go out and make a move. Remember, Justin Fields is still out there, and the Bears want to trade him and will trade him eventually, but I'm not sure exactly who the suitors are. And then, where did I read? Tyrod Taylor is backing up who now? He just signed as well.
Tyrod Taylor was with who the heck did he go to?
The Giants.
Yeah,
the Giants. Okay, so there you go. There's that's what I have. There's probably another 1,000 moves out there that we just don't have the time to talk about. But moves happening the last couple of days continue today, and it'll be another busy day in the National Football League.
We still do not have a correct answer. I have stumped the folks out there with today's Humdinger's trivia question. Again, the question, first of all, for some of you need to maybe check out the current American Athletic Conference.
Are they guessing Cincinnati? Houston?
In Tigers basketball history, there are only 2 teams that are in the current American Athletic Conference that have ever beaten them in a conference tournament game. I need those 2 teams. I have had both teams, of all the answers, both teams have been mentioned, but nobody has the right combination. But yes, Cincinnati, they would not qualify. Houston would not qualify.
Louisville would not qualify.
UCF would not qualify. Let's see others that have been guessed that are not in the.
UConn does not qualify.
Virginia Tech. They used to play with those guys years and years ago.
Rutgers.
And again,
any of the Metro opponents.
Again, it's a conference tournament game. Not NCAA tournament. Conference tournament game.
And again, the current teams in the conference. There you go.
So you've got there's not, obviously Memphis hasn't beaten themselves. So the rest of the teams in the current American Athletic Conference.
Give your choice of 13.
This year in the American Athletic Conference, this season, the one that we've just, we're in the midst of getting ready for this conference tournament. The ones that are in the bracket for this year's conference tournament. There's only 2 of them that have ever beaten the Tigers in a conference tournament game. I need those 2.
Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Locally owned and operated company. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes, to get that new roof or that roof fixed. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers, along with homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. All their work satisfaction guaranteed. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing, siding. They can install shingles. In fact, Brandon's a certified shingle installer. Rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts. Quality work at a very, very good price. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Again, locally owned and operated. Call Brandon at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, Jeff Crane joins us from the University of Memphis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I just conducted another seminar for some folks who had inquired about preparing their homes for the market, as they would be scaling down into a smaller home or moving to an active lifestyle community. There are 12 things to take notice of in preparation, which can start now or in a year or two, whenever you are ready. One of the things to consider is what I call editing, and what you may call decluttering. That's funny, when you pick something up to decide whether to keep it or not, as soon as you touch it, all those good memories come back of where you were, when it happened, and who you were with. It can often be a tough decision, and keeping focused is the key to being successful and less stressful. If you want to discuss a plan for a move, whether now or in the future, and need guidance, please feel free to call or email me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders' team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 3985, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7 7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49,9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Best finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
I am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now, I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched?
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. There's still a couple of accidents in the clearing stages. They continue to work up there for the next couple of weeks. I know it's going to take some getting used to coming over from West Memphis there on 55 on the bridge. Traffic still looking decent right now. 55 up through South Haven as that traffic continues to build up from DeSoto County into South Memphis. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I'm going to give another little hint here. There's another. Florida Atlantic and Memphis have never been in the same conference together. Until this year. So it would be impossible for Florida Atlantic to have beaten Memphis in a conference tournament game. because it would be impossible for them to have played a conference tournament game because they weren't in the same conference.
Well, they were probably confused thinking NCAA tournament, which they did play last year. It's got to be the conference. Still no winner. Wow. Sad news, and I'm sure you have never heard of the guy. I know Zach has never heard of the guy. Eric Carmen has passed away at the age of 74. He was the lead singer of a group called the Raspberries. They were pretty darn good. And then he went solo, had 80s hits, including Hungry Eyes and Make Me Lose Control. All by Myself, he sang as well. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I'm aware of his songs.
Wow, look at that.
Hungry Eyes is a good song.
So have you heard of Eric Carmen?
I would, but I'll tell you who sang that song. But I've heard that song.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I was 1 for 2 as far as that's concerned, but he passes away at the age of 74. Time now to talk some Memphis athletics. We do it each and every week with Jeff Crane.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers athletics. Joining Greg and Eli is University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane. Here's Jeff with Greg and Eli.
It is always a pleasure to talk Memphis Tigers athletics with University of Memphis Deputy AD Jeff Crane. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, guys.
You know, Mama said there'd be days like these. Mama said there'd be weeks like these. Rough weekend for the blue and gray.
Yeah, disappointing outcome there in FedEx Forum, but really thankful for a great crowd. As we anticipated, just couldn't find the way to win. I said FedEx Forum, but we were on the road.
Yeah, down in Boca.
We were on the road in Boca Raton. But yeah, it was it's certainly a disappointing outcome. But I felt like our guys just couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah, it was one of those, and I want to hate to extend the misery, but we'll have great weekends, right? Memphis will have great weekends, and there'll be some weekends that there are tough times, and baseball and softball both 0 for 3. The women get knocked out of the American Conference Tournament, and the men, as you mentioned, lose in Boca. So with a bad weekend out of the way, hopefully that will mean a big surprise in winning 4 games in 4 days. Not easily done. I remember when UConn won 5 in 5 days to win the Big East tournament, went on to win a national championship, but certainly an uphill battle, but a battle nonetheless, Jeff. It's not over yet for the men, who will begin action on Thursday in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what this team's capable of. Certainly we all have, and we've seen some incredible basketball. We've seen some incredible halves of games. And, we're optimistic and very much believe that our team can come out and be that team that we all expect them to be and that they expect themselves to be and find a way to win. So, I mean, they call it March Madness for a reason. Teams kind of catch fire this time of year, and sometimes it's unexplainable how certain things happen when tournaments begin. When your back's against the wall, sometimes you just play a little differently. And we're just excited to be in a position, and we go win, and who knows what happens the next day.
Yeah, that's part of the beauty of this. The way the college basketball season works is everybody gets a hard reset at the end of the regular season to try, and no matter what's happened before that, you can completely change your season around.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and you can feel and see the disappointment around our program, and the expectations are high for everybody around the program, fans included, and those are games that you expect to win on the road, and we didn't find a way to do it, but excited for the next challenge coming later this week.
Well, let's talk a little bit about expectations. I think we've done that with you before. We've certainly done that with Laird, about the expectations, especially from men's basketball, football, but now even women's basketball, baseball. You have high expectations for all your sports teams at the University of Memphis. You expect them to compete for conference championships, to get to the NCAA tournament. A lot of success with both men's and women's soccer. But in this situation, we're talking about men's basketball. Is it too much? I said this earlier, and you tell me if you think the expectations are too high from my standpoint. With the history of this program, with the players that Penny's able to get to this program, or even coaches before him going down the line, the success that this program has had, the history that it's had, 3 out of 4 NCAA tournament trips with the conference, which has been revamped. You lose Houston. Is that too much to ask for, that out of every 4 years, Memphis gets to the dance 3 times?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to put an exact number on it, but I think you look at over the last 4 years, and I think you would say our program has had great success, but hasn't quite gotten and reached what we all expect to be its full potential. And our job as administrators is to provide resources and encouragement and accountability when necessary to get there. But every season's different, especially now in college sports. You have a different group of players, it seems, every year. Mm-hmm. And our job is to help build a structure around that as best we can to be able to put our programs in a position to be successful.
We've talked about it best, but where are you right now on NIL? Do you feel like you are in a good spot there when compared to the rest of the conference on the basketball side of things?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I'm not sure anybody ever feels like they're in a good spot related to NIL, but I will say that that our coaches especially have worked hard to get the resources that they need. We have collectives that are out there working on our behalf. In the state of Tennessee, we as athletics department employees can have conversations with donors about that, and we feel like we're in a good position, not necessarily the position that ultimately we want to be in related to NIL dollars, but we do feel like in our league we're toward the top. But those numbers are constantly changing, and also one of the challenges with NIL is there's little to no transparency there.
Right,
so
right.
Sometimes you really don't know where you stand in that space. We believe we're in a good spot, but also I think you'll see, especially on the men's basketball side and football, we're competing nationally for prospects, etc. And so being able to put ourselves in a position that we can retain players and some of the best players in the country is hard to do if we're not competitive in the NIL space.
Do you expect it to ever become transparent? And if it does, could that affect those who are donating their money to NIL, that they don't want it to become transparent? They don't want to be known for whatever the reason is.
Yeah, I do think at some point there will be more transparency there on the side of the dollars that may be available, etc. Whether we'll get to a point where the transparency of the dollars that student athletes are receiving is there or not. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. But I do think it would be helpful in the future for us to be able to sustain and somewhat stabilize the current environment that we're in if there was some transparency to it.
So maybe general numbers of what the schools have available NIL, but not one, individual money going out to the individual student athletes, and two, where the money is coming in from.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and again, hard to tell what that future is going to look like. I'm not sure that 5 years ago we ever could have predicted we're in the spot we're in nationally today. So over the next 5, we do think there'll be some more seismic shifting that takes place. And we'll see what that future holds.
Okay.
Meanwhile, again, the conference tournament comes up now. I would assume now if anybody has last-minute plans to go down, they need to get their tickets there, right?
Yeah, best to go through Dickies Arena at this point. And as we've seen with our fan base, that once we win a game or two, we expect a large influx of Tigers to head to Fort Worth, and looking forward to getting a couple wins here and continuing to play in the weekend and having lots of Tigers in Fort Worth. And there will be plenty of tickets available through the Dickies Arena website or walking right up to the arena and buying tickets on game day.
All right, let me go rapid fire before we let you go. Questions that you probably don't have answers to, but I'll ask them nevertheless. Penny, last night, meeting the media after his radio show, expressed hope that Malcolm Dandridge would be cleared at some point soon. Obviously, the tournament for Memphis begins on Thursday. Is there any chance that investigation wraps up, he's exonerated, and he's in a uniform for any games this weekend?
Yeah, I think that still remains to be seen. Still lots of ongoing conversations, et cetera, in that space. And so nothing new to report there.
On the football front, camp opens up later this week. Anything new on the new deal or extension, whatever you guys are calling it, with Ryan Silverfield? I know negotiations have been ongoing.
Yeah, we are very close to having that done. Excited to keep Coach Silverfield in Memphis for the foreseeable future. And, we would anticipate some announcements on that in the next several weeks.
Okay.
And we are very close.
All right, and of course you know that I am legally obligated to ask you about the stadium situation, the design that's going on, everything behind the scenes, a lot of things that have to be done paperwork-wise. Where are we now that we sit here on March 12th?
Yeah, so we're out of all those things we talked about, we probably have the most clarity on that one. So,
really?
That's coming very soon. We'll be putting out our season ticket invoices and announcing our plans as it relates to the upcoming season in the next week. So by the time we talk next week, we'll be able to talk much more detail about where things are headed with the stadium, and we'll be putting some nice, pretty pictures out in the next, I would say, 7 to 10 days. So we're very close, and frankly, as excited as we've ever been with where we are in that entire process.
Excellent. We got a little bit out of you, Jeff. Very, very nice. We really appreciate you heading down to Fort Worth.
I will. I'll be watching on TV this week, but excited to see some wins.
There you go. Thank you, Jeff, as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much, guys. Go Tigers, go.
That's Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy AD.
There we go. We're going to get some pictures in the next week.
There we go. New designs, right? New diagrams. Everything we saw. Why did they put it out in the first place? I mean, this is not just Memphis. You always see that with projects. And then for the most part, they're revamped. Once they realize, well, we only have this amount of money, so we're going to have to do it this way. But I'm sure it'll look fantastic. I'm really curious to see the differences between what is going to come out with the project that they're going to go forward with and what was the original project as far as the video that came out, the diagrams, the specs that we saw.
And I assume part of that, again, as they're doing the season ticket stuff, we'll find out if there's really going to be any effect on this coming season.
Right.
Or
right.
If it will be the next season or how that exactly will work. Folks, if you got a move coming up, you want to make sure you get the professionals to help you with that move, and the right professionals. That would be Black Tie Moving. Give them a call. Go to the website. Talk to them. Come up with that plan for your move. They'll work with you, coming up with a plan fitting your needs and fitting your budget to make sure that all that stress and worry, well, that's taken care of for you. You don't have to worry about your belongings getting where they're going. They're going to make sure of that. They're going to get there without any issues. Whether you're moving across town or across the country, it doesn't matter. Talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving. You want to make sure that you get the right professionals, not your friends, to help you in these situations. 901-316-6196 is the phone number, 901-316-6196. Or you can go to the website, blacktiemoving.com/Memphis, to get your personal no-obligation quote up front. They're going to make sure you're going to know exactly what it's going to cost before you agree to anything when you deal with the professionals from Black Tie Moving.
Still no winner?
We're going to have an unprecedented thing here. This has never happened in Humdinger's Trivia.
All right, we'll talk about that when we return. We got college basketball news, including the postseason honors from the SEC, news involving a former Grizzly. We'll talk some Grizzlies as well. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. The Players' Championships this week. He'll join us at 9:05. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Hey Mid-South, it's springtime, so let's celebrate with the Gossett Mitsubishi Motor Spring Sales Event. Time to go spring breaking with 43 MPG Highway. Do it right with 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for only $19,110 or $259 a month. Go your own way in style with 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $30,150 or $449 a month. Or hit the road in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE $36,165 or $399.99 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RHW 6614, MSRP 1916, Eclipse RZO 32749, MSRP 30,650, Outlander RZO 12807, MSRP 36,165. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and licensee dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:50 the time. All right, what's going on that's unprecedented about Humdinger's trivia?
All right, so this is much like with the conference tournaments. Y'all failed in the regular season. You had terrible regular seasons. We can't get a correct answer to the question. So I'm gonna give a different question and to let somebody win, because I'm gonna give away this gift certificate.
Why don't you just give some hints?
They failed. I don't. You failed. People have guessed 6 times. Some people have guessed like 6 times. And they're not even close. The correct answer.
I want to give you hints.
To that question was Temple 2015 and USF 1999.
That had to be the BB Walden teams.
Those are the 2 teams. SMU hasn't beaten them in a conference tournament. UAB hasn't beaten them in a conference tournament. Those were the 2 most popular answers.
Okay. That is surprising that Tulsa. I thought I would have.
Tulsa has not beaten them in a conference tournament.
I thought it was going to be something weird like Charlotte. I thought maybe UAB. I've seen so many of them, I can't remember them all, how they all turned out.
So here's the new question. And everybody, if you've already had, it doesn't matter. It's a hard reset. We're in the conference tournament season. Everybody's tournament, every season starts over now.
This is double elimination.
Yes, you can look at it that way. Although some people have already guessed like 6 times. They're in their 7th elimination. Whatever. They're playing a best of 11. All right, here's the new question. We're going to stay with the conference tournament theme. Who is the last team other than Houston to beat Memphis in a conference tournament? Who is the last team other than Houston? So Houston cannot be the answer. I'm going to tell you right now. Houston cannot be the answer. The last team other than Houston to beat Memphis in a conference tournament game.
You're getting a little fired up about this. There's steam coming off your head.
No, I'm not fired up.
All right.
I just if somebody answers with Houston, I'll get fired up. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. The last team, again, this doesn't have to be a current member of the conference or anything else, just the last team other than Houston to beat Memphis in a conference tournament game. 901-360-8255.
Congratulations to Dalton Connect, named the SEC Player of the Year. I'm not sure if they give out a Newcomer of the Year, but you would think you would get that too. Last night the awards were announced. No surprise, although some really good candidates, but Connect takes home the hardware.
Yeah, I get it. It was basically him and Sears. The fact that Tennessee won the outright title, I think, made it pretty clear that Connect was going to be that guy.
Lamont Paris, Coach of the Year. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was
100%.
That one, pretty much a no-brainer, I think, with the job he did at South Carolina.
Although, obviously, Rick's done a great job at Tennessee, but Lamont Paris, out of nowhere, it seemed like, to lead this South Carolina to the heights that he has led them to. The first team all-conference, of course, 8 players on that first team, right? The SEC...
I don't know why they do it this way, but that's the way they do it.
I'm not going to rattle through the 8, but it includes the likes of Mark Sears, obviously Dalton Connect, and another Tennessee Vol in Zakai Ziegler. Antonio Reeves from Kentucky also on that first team. This is not good. Hunter Dickinson, Kevin McCuller's missed a lot of time this year, will both miss the Big 12 tournament for Kansas. Just give Houston the title, right? They beat Kansas by 30 the other day anyway.
Well, Kansas is the 6th seed of the tournament. There's some other teams in the Big 12 that are pretty good.
Yeah, Iowa State's good. Just lost to Kansas State. I mean, Houston, the way they're playing right now, I want to see Houston and Connecticut for a national championship. They would be the 2 most physical teams that we may have in college basketball today, and still incredibly talented. But nevertheless, Dickinson, McCullough will not be in uniform because of injury for Kansas, but they are expected back for the NCAA tournament. Just enough to screw with me when I fill out my bracket. Last night, 2 more teams punched their ticket to the big dance. In the Sun Belt, James Madison knocked off our friends from Jonesboro. They beat Arkansas State. Good run for the Red Wolves, but JMU wins it by 20. James Madison, are they good in every sport?
It's been a good year for them.
And then in the SoCon, the Southern Conference, it was Samford from Birmingham, Alabama, knocking off East Tennessee State University 76-69. Today, there are a number of tournaments that either have reached the finals or the semis, and 3 of the bigger tournaments get underway. Actually, 2 of them. The ACC and the Big 12 gets underway today. Also, the A-10 gets underway today. In the ACC, you have Georgia Tech, that's Damon Stoudemire's team, versus Notre Dame. You have Louisville and NC State, and one of the biggest disappointments in college basketball this year, Miami versus Boston College. In the Big 12, Oklahoma State, UCF, West Virginia, and Cincinnati. So 2 of the newbies from the American in the Big 12 this year. Both will play on the first day of the Big 12 tournament.
I was looking at some Jerry Palm's bracket and Joe Lunardi's bracket. Joe Lunardi still has Indiana State in the tournament as his last team in. Jerry doesn't even have them on the bubble. They have a complete disagreement on Indiana State, which I'm with Jerry on that. Indiana State has done nothing other than they won a bunch of games, but they beat nobody of consequence this year.
Yeah, that's what I asked you yesterday, because I didn't know they're not.
How Lunardi still has them in the tournament I really have no idea. Now, Grant, there's going to be teams that pick up wins this week that I'm sure will knock them out of his. But Jerry literally doesn't even list them as one of his bubble teams. Like he not even really considering them as a possibility.
Lenardi still has Memphis listed as the next 4 out.
Yes,
the bottom of that category.
All right, we do have a correct answer now, but we have some of the worst students.
Well.
You leave our listeners alone, mister.
If I just went through a list of teams that have never beaten in Memphis in a conference tournament, stands to reason they weren't the last team to beat Memphis in a conference tournament. I just told you SMU has never beaten them in a conference tournament. People start firing SMU as the last team to beat them in the conference tournament. Anyway, the last team other than Houston to beat Memphis in a conference tournament game, that would be Cincinnati. That would be the 2017-18 season when they lost Cincinnati under Tubby Smith. Penny has only lost to Houston. Penny's every loss in the conference tournament has been to Houston.
Wasn't that the Shaq Harris? I forgot that Cincinnati team under Mick Cronin.
To beat them?
Yeah.
Shaq Thomas? Shaq Harrison was the guy at Tulsa. Wasn't there a Shaq Thomas?
There was another Shaq with Cincinnati.
Yeah, not sure.
This was the Jaron Cumberland, Gary Clark, Jacob Evans team. There was no Shaqs.
That might be a little bit before that time.
By the way, you gave us Tyrod Taylor signing with the Giants. That was his old team. He's signing with the Jets. So he doesn't have to move.
No, I mean, potato, tomato.
Giants, Jets, tomato, tomato. Just want to make sure we clarify that for our Giants and Jets fans listening.
We had a few people that got the correct answer here, but there's no tiebreaker needed. We'll be sending a note to our winner and tell you how to claim your $25 gift certificate to Humdingers, but all of you should be ashamed of yourselves.
One quick note from the NBA. Congrats to Kenneth Lofton Jr. He has signed a 3-year non-guaranteed deal with the Utah Jazz. That seems unusual. A 3-year non-guaranteed deal?
Yeah, I mean, you don't
hear
see
that
very
too
often in
yeah.
the NBA.
Good for him.
They certainly want to take a very good look at him, and so good for him. Absolutely.
Well, more on the NBA, on the Grizzlies later on in Hour 3. When we come back, though, we're talking golf with Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, Mid-South, you'll never guess who I got on the line. It's Jason, the main man Marshall, and he's ready to rock at Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike. Hey, where you been, main man Marshall?
Randy, I've been selling cars like candy bars at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike.
So, Jason, what can the good people of Memphis expect from you over at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Huge savings? We Gossett. Huge inventory? We Gossett. Atlas, Crossports, Jettas, Taos, Tiguan. Whatever you're looking for, we got it at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike.
Well, there's no doubt about it. If the main man Marshall says he's Gossett, then I'm telling you, you don't need to go anywhere else.
That's right, Randy, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
So be sure to ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online anytime, 24/7, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging forward and charging less every day. Come see me at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike.
All vehicles include all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. Guys, let's talk. When I turned 40, I was feeling burnt out, unsatisfied with my marriage and career. I couldn't recognize the man I'd become. Honestly, I thought I would never be the same man again. Then I figured out I had lower testosterone and found Nugenix Total T. It changed everything. After 1 month, I rediscovered the man I know I am. That guy from my youth. I was hitting the gym, feeling passion in my marriage, feeling more energetic at work. Nugenix Total T includes Testofen, a patented ingredient clinically shown to boost free and total testosterone. And right now, you can get a complimentary bottle and try Total T for yourself. Just send a text. Text TEAR to 369-369 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TEAR to 369-369. That's TEAR to 369-369. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
They're taking care of business in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They're still up here working on the bridge here on 55. They're going to be up here for the next couple of weeks. I know that's taken some getting used to. Traffic's on the increase even more coming down through Woodstock on 51 out of Millington. Still not too bad over here. Normally it'd be heavy this time of the morning on 40 West coming past Sycamore View Road, headed towards that 240 flyover. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:05 the time. Hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. The Tuesday, March 12th, 2024 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. We've been talking a lot about the Tigers, comments that Penny Hardaway had to say yesterday as he met the media after his weekly radio show. Of course, the American Conference Tournament will get underway tomorrow. Tigers will play their first game on Thursday. They'll play the winner of Rice and Wright State. Also this weekend, aside from it being Selection Sunday in college basketball, things happening, of course, all around the sports world. In the golf world, it's what they call the fifth major, kind of the Billy Preston of golf. It's the Players' Championship. And we bring them on for the majors, but we bring them on for other big things happening in the sports world. You know why? Because he's the nicest guy in the world and gives us his time. He is Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. Also, the star of the Netflix documentary Full Swing, which is terrific. You have to watch it. Steve, how are you?
Nicest guy in the world. I couldn't even get a call back when I sent that tape in 32 years ago to Salisbury, WMDT.
Is it 32 now?
can't even get a call back, and you're calling me the nicest guy in the world?
Yeah, well, I'm calling you the nicest guy. I'm not calling me the nicest guy. How
what
are you?
What a jerk.
How are you?
What a jerk.
I know.
Hey, what seed is Memphis going to get?
They're the fifth seed.
Fifth seed in the conference tournament.
They're not going to the
No,
NCAA.
I know that.
No,
they're
not
going to the NCAA.
No, they're not if they don't win it. They have to
Come
win.
on.
Seriously,
Man.
Steve. They went from
come
10th
on.
ranked in the country down the crapper.
I know. I love watching them play ball. They're not going to make the tournament? Golly.
There's still, there's still a chance they could.
No, I know. They can make a run.
4-4 is extremely tough.
Yeah, it's tough. They can make a run. I think if they get to the weekend, I think they're good. I think they get to the last game. I think they get to the championship game.
All right, we'll give you all the credit in the world if they do. It came
No,
from
no,
the
no,
mouth
I'm
of
just saying,
Steve Sands if it happened. All right, before we dive into the players, last week was the elevated Arnold Palmer and Scotty Scheffler. Yeah. He's back, baby. New putter, looked good. So the documentary, in all seriousness, it's fantastic. It's the second year of Full Swing on Netflix. And Steve is prominently in it with his voice and then his face, and you see him with commentary and all kinds of stuff. But I watched I guess it was the last two episodes that the emphasis was on the Ryder Cup, the 2023 Ryder Cup. And I remember talking about it so many times on the show, probably when you were on as well, as we were talking about who would get picked and the Justin Thomas thing, his history, his success, and then the relationship with Zach Johnson. I had no idea that Thomas Spieth and Fowler, who I knew were close, were that close to Zach Johnson. And after watching that, Steve, I'm more pissed about the whole situation. I know that Thomas had a good Ryder Cup. The Americans lost in Italy. You were there, you know. I'm so mad that he didn't pick Keegan Bradley. I'm more mad now watching that documentary. I didn't know he was buddies where he's having dinner with them. He's joking around. He was going to pick him the entire time. I'm sorry. I'm mad.
You're going to go back to September and the picks that Zach made? That's what's going to make you mad?
Yes. Well, because I just watched the documentary last night, like yesterday afternoon.
Look, here's the thing on those picks. Ken Schofield was the executive director, basically the commissioner, they call it the executive director, of the European Tour for like a quarter century. He taught me years and years ago, captain's picks are like sponsor exemptions week in, week out on the PGA Tour. They are to be chosen by the captain or the tournament, if you're going sponsor exemption route, but in this case, the captain, however he chooses.
Right.
And that could mean taking a guy like Adam Scott in 2009, if you're Greg Norman, because you're trying to just resurrect his career and you know it's in there somewhere. Or it could be as simple as Sam Burns is best friends with Scotty Scheffler. Their wives are best friends. Mm-hmm. And Scotty Scheffler's the number one player in the world, and he wants Sam Burns on that team. And Sam Burns is obviously good enough to be on that team, but perhaps would not have been chosen if he wasn't that close with Scotty. I think that friendships, relationships, Greg, I think those things matter when it comes to captain's picks. I think it matters when it comes to sponsor exemptions on the PGA Tour. And Ken Schofield, longtime executive director of the European Tour, the one who got the Ryder Cup to be where it is today in having it go from just being Great Britain to Great Britain and Ireland to all of Europe. Mm-hmm. And that has how it became this great. And Zach Johnson choosing to go with people he's close with, who he knows have the game, just maybe not the best game at the time. That's going to happen for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, look,
I think Keegan got screwed also.
He did,
but I'm telling you, these things are going to happen all throughout our lifetime.
No, you make sense and you put it eloquently. But you know what? Get rid of the captain's picks. Top 12 point system. There you go.
Wouldn't bother me. Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. I think it should be 11-1. I think it should be 11 guys make it, and then the captain gets one, maybe 10-2 at max. But I think 11-1 or 10-2 make the most sense. The 6-6 to me is ridiculous. Yeah. I don't like that at all.
The thing that stood out to me about watching the whole thing though is just, and I knew it, but like you get to see really how much the Ryder Cup means to these guys.
Yes.
Like all of them, like talking about it's the best thing we have in our sport, everything like it. It's awesome to see just how much it means to some of these guys.
It really does, Eli. It's it's an interesting thing. Golf is played on an individual basis, 51 weeks a year for the Americans. Every 2 years, it takes place for Europe and for the international side on the President's Cup side. But for the Americans, it's every year, 51 weeks. And then that 1 week, you put on the red, white, and blue, and you have teammates. And it's almost like you're an athlete that week and not a golfer. I don't mean that golfers aren't athletic, but they feel like an athlete that week because they're getting booed, they're getting jeered, they're getting cheered. The place is raucous. They're jumping up and down. They're getting fired up, things they wouldn't normally do week in, week out on the PGA Tour. And I think it just means a lot. Look, this is an Olympic year, okay? I've done the Olympics a lot, the Winter Games and the Summer Games. To put on the red, white, and blue, Eli and Greg, is a very, very big deal. All of us, the three of us and everyone who's listening right now to your show, would be so honored to do it. So when these guys get a chance to do it, and you don't get many chances, over the course of your lifetime, you might get 1 or 2 chances, you might get 7 or 8 chances, but 7 or 8 chances is just not that long if you're looking at your lifetime. And it's a really, really, really big deal to represent your country, represent your continent on the other side of things in the Ryder Cup. And that's why the guys care so much. It's a very cool event.
Yeah, it's a great event. There's something to say about a team competition. Of course, they have the event down in New Orleans, but that pales in comparison to your country versus all these other countries. But the fact that they have that, and these guys are as fired up as they are, and Eli's right, well documented in this series. Over the weekend, I'm watching the Bay Hill, but I'm also watching the Live event. And this is the first time I really watch, because I can never find it, first of all. So I watch in the Live. And I'm more interested in the teams than in the individuals. And that team stuff and the podium and the popping the champagne, it was pretty cool. Do you ever think down the road, 25 years from now, I don't know, that we'll ever have that concept put into the PGA Tour?
First of all, you're the only friend I have who watches Live, so congratulations. That's tremendous.
Hey, I live an exciting life, Steve.
He's actually the only person, not just friends of yours, only person.
Literally, I cannot believe that I just heard that. That's amazing.
I mixed it up,
but hey, good for you, man. That's fun.
I love golf.
I think that the answer, the guys are really not pro the team aspect of Live. They don't like a lot of things about Live, but one thing they don't like in particular is the team concept.
Okay.
Now, on the other side of things, the team concept means everything to the Live folks. So if they are going to merge, if they are going to come together on some type of partnership, some type of deal, then I would think the team aspect would be alive somewhere, say like in the fall for a few events or something like that, or maybe a one-off like the New Orleans event you mentioned, the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. But, I do not think that the individual nature of golf lends itself to the team concept. I mean, the two biggest individual sports that we see week in, week out are golf and tennis. The Ryder Cup and President's Cup's nice. The Davis Cup, I guess, is nice if people care about that. But I just don't think the team concept works in an individual sport.
Well, they did team tennis for years and years.
I know, but
it wasn't popular.
But who cares? I mean,
right.
Greg, come on.
I know.
Nobody cares about that. I they care about the majors. They care about the big events. They care about the FedEx Cup playoffs. Team concept. I don't know. It's an individual sport. How can you have I think the goofiest part of Live is the team concept.
No, I understand, but we just opened up talking about the Ryder Cup, which is team. That's the only reason I brought it up.
That's once every 2 years. The President's Cup this year is in Montreal. It's once every 2 years,
as opposed to every week, right?
As opposed to every week. It's kind of like, I'll give you 2 examples. The match play. Remember when Austin used to host the match play?
Yes.
They can't have that every week.
Right.
As cool as match play is, what makes it more cool is that it's once a year. As cool as the Ryder Cup and President's Cup are, they're made better that it's only once a year. And the Waste Management Phoenix Open, everybody wants to be rocking and rolling. Everybody wants to have 200,000 people on the grounds. Everybody wants to have that kind of zaniness. Well, It's only really great because it's once a year. If it was every week, it would get old. So
Fair enough.
That, to me, the team concept is that.
Well, for some of the players, it seemed to get old this year.
They got really old quick.
Yes, it did.
The thing that from the full swing, the moment that Rory and Rahm had at the end of the Ryder Cup was very interesting. Knowing that Rahm has bolted for Liv since then, but it's just obviously Rory's attitude is a little bit different towards Liv, but still I don't think he likes it that much. But Scotty Scheffler, if he putts like he did with this past weekend on, especially Saturday, Sunday he was making a bunch of putts. I mean, he right now really can't be beat, can he? Like, his ball striking is so good. If he starts putting like that, I don't know what you do.
Yeah, there's nothing anybody can do. If he's going to putt like that, which is so hard to do, and if he's going to hit the golf ball the way he hits the golf ball, which seemingly isn't that hard for him because he does it so consistently well, then you can forget it. He's as close. I am not going to compare him to Tiger, but he is as close to being a dominant player when he is on as anybody we've seen in a long time. And that's because of the way he strikes the golf ball. If you remember, when Tiger was at his peak, again, I'm not comparing him to Tiger, not yet. When he was at his peak, Tiger hit the ball all over the place. And then he got up and down from everywhere. And he hit these incredible second shots out of the trees or the rough. Scotty's never in trouble, seemingly. And if the putter matches up like it did last week, then literally he can't be beat in this sport. And that is amazing considering how difficult the sport is and how cyclical things are in this game that one week to the next. I think he's a number one this week, not only in the official World Golf ranking, but I think he's number one as far as the betting favorite, and I don't even think it should be close. He is the favorite, and everybody has to come get him, not the other way around.
Since you brought up the name Tiger Woods, and I know he's continues to battle injuries, were you surprised that he's not going to tee it up in this event?
I was. I thought, when he came out, remember when we spoke a couple of months ago and he came out with that, I'm going to play once a month schedule. He didn't play in January, which, I was like, oh, okay. Well, he's going to play once a month, and that includes January. I believe January is a month. February, he played the Genesis, but then he got sick. He was really sick. I was on the range with him that morning on Friday. He was hurt, man. And we've all been there, coming out of both ends and not feeling great and, the whole thing. It was,
enjoy your breakfast, folks.
Well, we've all been there. I mean,
I know.
It's a horrible, horrible thing. And he was trying to compete, and he just couldn't do it. So that wasn't an injury thing. That was legit flu, sickness, whatever type of thing. When he didn't play last week at Bay Hill where he's won 8 times, I thought, well, he's going to play the Players because he's got to play one event before going to the Masters. Well, then he didn't, post for the Players this week, and I thought, oh, okay, so maybe it's an injury thing. That would be the only reason he wouldn't be playing this week. He's not playing just because he wants the rest. He's playing because he's not playing because he just physically can't, which is a shame because everybody wants to see him play. Everybody thought he was doing well, and his health was okay. You don't know. He doesn't say a lot publicly, and if I knew something privately, I wouldn't say it publicly anyway. And I don't know anything. I hope he's okay, and I hope we get to see him at Augusta. But I was surprised that he did not play this week or last week. I knew he wasn't going to play both, but I thought he would play one or the other. And to me, it must be a health issue that he didn't play one week or the other. But I don't know. I truly don't know.
I mean, I said it the last time. I just don't see. There's no way in the world to me he was going to be able to play once a month. I just don't think physically he can do it. I just don't think physically he
Maybe
can walk.
mentally can't do it anymore either.
Physically walk 4 rounds of golf right now. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's listen, Eli. That's the biggest issue. I think, remember the debate years ago when Casey Martin wanted a golf cart, and people kept talking about the debate as, oh, give him a golf cart. Come on, the guy's, he has a disability, and he clearly needs a golf cart because he's good enough to play without being able to walk. And then there was the other side of the equation where everybody thought, you know what, walking is an integral part of the game. You can't just get a a ride to first base. You got to either walk, get an error, or get a hit to get to first base. You can't just get a ride to first base if you don't have the legs. And that was a debate in golf 2 decades ago. And now all of a sudden, here we are talking about Tiger Woods can play. There's no debate he can play golf. I just don't know, Eli, like you, if he can go 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. If you include a pro-am or a practice round on a Tuesday or Wednesday, or both, you're talking about 5-6 days of golf in a row. I don't know if his body can do that. We'll have to wait and see. But clearly, he would love to play and compete, and clearly he's not. So there must be a reason.
So if Scheffler doesn't win this week, who does?
Oh, man, I think there are a couple of guys who are interesting. I think Justin Thomas proved a little bit last week. He won the Players a few years ago in 2021. He proved that this week and early this season that his game is sharp and that it's getting better and better after a tough 2023. I think Justin Thomas is a guy to look at. I think Will Zalatoris, who, like Scotty, is a ball-striking god. And if his putter cooperates, then he'll be on the first page of the leaderboard. If you want to go deep, into the odds, I would say Minwoo Lee. Remember him last year? Minwoo Lee last year kind of came out of his shell, and everybody was loving Minwoo Lee last year at the Players. He likes the golf course. I think that's important. Some guys don't particularly care for the course. Not that they don't like the golf course, but their game just doesn't match up with it. I think Minwoo Lee from way off the board is an interesting play. I think Brian Harman could play well this week. Brian Harman's a guy who's the current Open champion. Played decent last week, didn't have a great Saturday, took him out of contention. But Brian Harman, the tougher the conditions, the better off Brian Harman is. And the Players is always a difficult test, although the weather this week is going to cooperate. Supposedly it's not going to be that windy and not a lot of rain in the forecast. So, we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But I would say those guys are the guys I'm looking at the most.
Well, granted, I don't have their past.
But Scotty's going to win, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
And all that's fun and games, but Scheffler's going to win.
Hey, by the way, interesting note. I mean, everybody loves these weird stats and notes, and you can't make them up kind of thing in sports. No one. This is the 50th Players. This is the 50th anniversary of the Players. No one has ever defended. No one.
Wow.
Scotty Scheffler is the defending champion. It's one of the strangest anomalies in all of golf that no one has ever gone back-to-back there. People have gone back-to-back at every event except this one.
Wow.
And it's
I would have never thought that. I mean, I thought a lot of them they did, but I would never have thought that every event other than the Players.
Well, every full field event.
Full field
the Tour
event.
Championship
Gotcha.
hasn't happened. But a full field event all throughout time, someone's bound to go back-to-back. And it's never happened at the Players, and it happens to be Scotty Scheffler, and it happens. Now, we said this when Tiger was the defending champion as well, but Scotty's coming in hot. He's just won. He's the defending champion. He's the number one player in the world. He likes the golf course. I mean, it's all right there for him. We'll see.
Scotty did me well last weekend because I had him before the tournament started, and Sunday, that's why I was able to watch a little live. Because he was lapping the field, baby. He was lapping the field. I didn't have to worry about it. Real quick, and obviously I don't have their past experiences and results from Sawgrass, but how about Hideki Matsuyama, who's playing really well of late, and Hovland? What are those guys' chances, in your opinion?
Oh, I think both of them can win anywhere. I think Hideki is one of the top 5 or 10 choices this week, in my opinion. I think Hideki has a great chance this week. And Victor Hovland can win anywhere. His game is starting to round into form. He was not happy with it the last couple of months, but for sure, Victor Hovland can win there.
Hovland has got to get outside without a hat on once in a while. The tan line is ridiculous. It is. He took his hat off on 18 during the term the other day, and I was like, literally has clearly not been outside one time in the last year without a hat on.
I tell you what, Eli, let me say this as politely as I can possibly say it. Victor Hovland's doing just fine off the golf course.
I mean, I'm just saying, take a day, Tuesday or whatever, and just get outside without a hat on for an hour or two. Get a little sun on that forehead.
Let me reiterate.
He's doing fine.
I think that Victor doesn't need to change any part of his program off the golf course.
By the way, nobody has a worse tan line or did than Stuart Sink when he took it. That was the weirdest thing.
When he took the hat off?
Oh, my gosh. That was the weirdest thing. And number 2, you're right. You are absolutely right about what you're inferring here with Hovland. All you have to do is watch the full swing and the wives and girlfriends of these golfers that were in Rome. And they were looking mighty fine, gentlemen. Yeah.
You should have, perhaps you should have worked in a short game a little more when you were a kid, Greg.
Oh, my gosh. With the zinger here.
Listen, the wife of a professional golfer is a pretty good life.
They're just lining up, man. They're just lining up, ready to.
You guys have gone into the toilet with your show.
Who's the most eligible bachelor out there right now on tour?
Oh, man. I mean, Victor would certainly be in the top 5 for sure.
If he put a little sun on that forehead, he'd be number 1.
Yeah. Eli, let me tell you something. I've met you in person. We have shared a couple of beers and some barbecue in your fine city of Memphis. You don't have a leg to stand on.
But I play, like when I play golf, I make sure to take my hat off for a few holes to get a little sun up there. I don't want that nasty tan line.
You know why?
I don't have a sponsor.
You need it. No, you need it. There's a difference between needing it and wanting it.
Yes, yes, there is. All right, so what's the answer? Is Zalatoris married?
Zalatoris married. A lovely woman who he's with.
Who's the most eligible bachelor out there on the tour?
Oh, man. I mean,
So this is a public service announcement for our women out here.
Honestly, I think it's Victor. I think Victor, I'm trying to think of the guys in the top 10. Rahm's married. Rory's married. Scheffler's married. I would say Victor Hovland. Victor Hovland would. Yeah, I'd have to look at the official World Golf ranking list, but I would say I'm trying to think of who is single. Yeah, I would say Victor Hovland. I'm old, man. I'm 55 years old.
Hey, I'm older
I
than you.
I don't go out anymore. I don't do anything.
To the victor go the spoils. How about that one? That's a Jim Nance. That's an answer.
Now you're Jim Nance.
To the victor go the spoils.
Hello, friend. Yeah.
We'll let you go. We always appreciate your time. I did want to talk, and maybe at a future event. Hopefully, we'll get you at the Masters again. We could talk about the whole controversy with the world golf rankings and that stuff, because that's been a hot topic, and other things as well. You're the best, Steve. Thank you so much. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Anytime, fellas. Be good.
Take care. Steve Sands from the Golf Channel on NBC. I'm sure he'll make time at the Masters, a place where you can't even bring your cell phones in, but he always finds a way to come on with us.
Mid-South Ag Equipment for all those equipment needs. Go see the folks at Mid-South Ag. You can find them online at midsouthag.com, where you can check out all the different equipment, from new to used equipment that they have, plus special deals that they've got going on. But if you go see them in person, you can check out that Case IH Farmall series of tractors, the Bush Hog equipment, including the zero-turn lawnmowers, and everything else they have for you at Mid-South Ag Equipment, located just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. You can find them easily by taking I-269 to the Goodman Road exit, and they are just a half-mile west. Very simple to find the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment for all your equipment needs. Again, midsouthag.com, or just go see them at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
All right, we got 30 minutes to go. We're going to talk some Grizzlies and NBA when we get back, but we'll get back into the Penny Hardaway topic, which we opened the show with. If you'd like to give us a call, you'd like to text in, you can. The Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines are available to you at 901-360-8255. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hello? Hey, little sis. Did you get your W-2 yet? Yes, I did. Well, you know last year when I told you to file early to get your refund quick? Yes, I remember. Well, go ahead and call now, and you can get your refund fast. Thanks. That's why I love you. Always looking out for your little sis.
To get your taxes filed quick and get your refund fast, go to Brenton Tax Service, located in Midtown Memphis on Madison Avenue. We may not be related to you, but at Brenton Tax Service, we protect you like family.
Excellent, phenomenal, and awesome are just a few of the words that people have said online to describe their experience at 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. And they're all true. Everyone, and I mean everyone, who works at 117 Prime strives for one thing: excellence. No one at Prime settles for not putting in the maximum effort in making your dining experience something you won't just cherish, but one you'll tell your friends about. There are a lot of things maybe you should keep to yourself, but telling a friend about 117 Prime is the one thing you can feel really confident about.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Grizzlies back in action tonight. In fact, home games tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night as they play out the string. Unfortunately, one of those seasons, 17 games to play. Tonight they'll take on the Wizards, 11-53. Grizzlies have double the amount of wins that the Wizards have. Doesn't mean that the Grizzlies won't lose. Grizzlies come in at 22-43. The injury list yesterday was a who's who. 8 players out, 1 doubtful, 3 questionable.
Really, it's games like tonight that just make you really appreciate having an NBA team in town to get to see action like this.
Yeah, if I'm a fan, I'd be questionable as well.
Grizzlies, Wizards. I mean, it really, this is it. This is the pinnacle of the sport.
So there's a story, Sam Hardiman at the Daily Memphian. I think Jonah Dillon had it over at the CA. Stories that came out, I guess, yesterday that I'm seeing this morning about the possibility of using the Memphis and Shelby County hotel and motel tax revenue to make up the funding gap for the planned FedEx Forum renovations, which we've heard this before. It seems like they've used the hotel and motel tax for other things in the past, maybe even for the original building of FedEx Forum. I don't remember all the details, but it seems like that's kind of a fallback go-to. But a proposed bill could change how the hotel motel tax dollars are used and allow governments to help close the funding gap for the planned $500 million plus renovations for FedEx Forum and the Grizzlies. Although we've never gotten an official design from the Grizzlies, they haven't really released anything to us. I mean, made it public. I'm not sure if they even finished with that. It's been ongoing. Also, exactly how much we're talking about here. But you know, between other taxes and, of course, what was allocated by the state, there's a certain amount of money which is going to fall short of the $500+ million they're going to use. The Daily Memphian reporting that the local governments have more than $400 million in public funds for the arena, between $230 million in cash from the state of Tennessee and the other public revenue streams that pay FedEx Forum's existing debt, and were extended into the 2050s last year. So, again, they're looking to find ways to close that gap, have that money. But, again, I wonder if the Grizzlies have, in their meetings that they've had with city officials and maybe even county officials, disclosed behind closed doors what it's going to take because they haven't done it publicly. We don't know. I mean, if they came back and said it's going to cost $750, I would not be surprised. Or have they said something?
I think they know where they're at. I think they've.
Have they completed the design?
550, I think, is kind of the number that
Okay.
they've worked it down to. I don't know if they've gotten all the way down to 550. I know they've tried, and
So that's what they're trying to do, get it to 550. Is that the number?
that's, I think, the target that they're trying to get everything to.
Which I think is, hopefully that will be able to fund everything they want, because you don't want to have to do it again. You're not going for a new arena. You're looking to renovate. To me, that seems, in this day and age, reasonable after what happened with COVID and the prices that have skyrocketed for labor, for supplies, things of that nature, has gone out the roof. It's probably triple what it was before, pre-COVID. I don't know, but I would guess that that's the case because it's happened across the board with a lot of things. But that seems to be reasonable to do what they want to do to elevate that arena, that 20-year-old plus arena, into today's day and age, and trying to get the modern amenities that you want in your arena without having to try to build a new one, which I think would fall on deaf ears if you tried that.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't everything they want. I mean, again, they've had to cut some things to
concessions
try and
from
get
both
down
sides,
to
right?
550, but it is what it is. So that's what they are trying to. I think that's good. I think that's a fair number that everybody kind of, I guess, agrees on. That if they could get to there, then everything will be good. Now, but yet there is still as I said, as they said, there's a deficit there that still, even to get to 550 on the money side, has to be made up, and so they're trying to find these different revenue streams to be able to do that.
I'm shocked. I just was sent an email where it indicates the Grizzlies are the most injured NBA team this season. That is some shocking news right there. The Grizzlies top the list, and they do so going away, let's just say. The Lakers, the Trailblazers are tied for second, and then the Bulls are third on that list of injuries. But again, the Grizzlies tonight in action to take on the Wizards of Washington. Get your tickets now. Last night in the NBA, Luka Doncic, another triple-double. But it wasn't a 30-point triple-double because they took him out of the game since they were crushing. Who were they playing? Chicago?
I don't even know who they were playing.
Whoever it was.
He already set the record for the 30-pointer, so he didn't have to.
Right, but the guy is on a roll. I don't know if you're a gambler out there that you don't play Doncic and Jokic for triple-doubles every game. They don't always get them, I understand that, but they get them more often than not. And last night they both had triple-doubles. Dallas did beat Chicago. It was 127-92, so a 35-point win. Denver over Toronto, 125-119. Also, Boston, late game in Portland, they drubbed the Trailblazers 121-99. Phoenix over Cleveland, 117-111. Donovan Mitchell continues to be out with injuries. And Detroit over Charlotte, 114-97. Did you see that list that was released of the players, prominent players, who are ineligible already for any kind of postseason awards because they will not hit the threshold of 65 games played?
I did not see a list, no.
But you can imagine who some of those players are. They still have enough good players to go around that have played the bulk of the games, 65 or more, so I think they'll be fine as far as that's concerned. But man, oh man, that list, and you got three, of course, from Memphis in Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr., although Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren's probably going to
will probably make it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it was Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, Bane, Ja Morant. Those were the three.
Do you think Jaren has an opportunity if he plays the number 65 games? Do you think he can sneak on to one of these all NBA teams?
No.
Depending on how
all he can make all defense.
All defense is a possibility.
I don't think he has any chance of making all NBA.
Because you go from the player of the year last year defensively, right? He was the defensive player of the year in the NBA. To drop off the face of the earth and not be on the all NBA team, what does that say? That he was that bad defensively this year? I mean, the team was bad, but the team was bad for a lot of reasons, mainly because of injured players.
There would have to be a lot of guys not get the 65 for him to be all NBA, I think. And again, there will be, but I don't think he would make. I don't think he could get all NBA, but I do think he will be. I think he's got a great chance of probably will be on the all defensive team.
Well, off the top of my head right now, is Giannis going to reach 65?
I'm not sure where these guys are.
Jokic will. Doncic will.
I think Giannis probably will, but I don't know for sure.
I mean, Curry's been banged up. Durant has played for the most part. I mean, I'm just thinking of the top players. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be first team all NBA. By the way, I was talking earlier about Wiseman, who's starting to play a lot better, getting some opportunities. 18 minutes last night for Detroit in their 17-point win over the Hornets. He had 10 points, 9 rebounds, a block, an assist, no turnovers. In 18 minutes, 4 or 6 from the field. Jalen Duren, another former Tiger, he was 8 of 10 from the field, went for 20 points, 10 rebounds, and assist, a steal. I mean, again, it's not always consistent with those two. It is more consistent with Duren. But by gosh, those two guys together, if Wiseman continues to get better, which he's had enough time now to do so you wonder if he can do that consistently, that's a great 1-2 punch. With the win, the Pistons and the Wizards are tied at 11-53 for the worst record in the NBA.
Congratulations to them.
You know what's weird, though? I'm looking at my conference standings.
Wizards can move into that spot with a loss to the Grizzlies tonight.
That's right. So
Pistons. Are Pistons playing on? I don't know.
They got that going for themselves, which is nice. No, I'm looking at the standings in the East, right? They're at the bottom. Washington, Detroit, same exact record, 11-53. Washington eliminated, but Detroit not eliminated. How's that possible?
Detroit could probably still win their division.
There you go. That's why you make the big bucks. All right.
Last night, Trace Jackson Davis, by the way, got Wembanyama.
He did. I like him. I remember in the draft, going as late as he did, second round guy. I thought he had first round talent coming out of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I think it was a good draft pick by him. I don't think he'll be a star in the NBA, but I think he'd be a really solid rotation player.
He does like stuff like that he did to Victor last night. Whew. Man.
Hey, it happens.
I wonder if Wembanyama will ever recover.
I think he will.
Folks, one of the best things that's happened in the past year here in Memphis, it's been the arrival of Genesis Diamonds. With that arrival has been an amazing thing for folks looking to buy jewelry. If you've got a special occasion coming up, maybe a birthday or anniversary, looking to get engaged, you just want to get a fine piece of jewelry for that someone special or for yourself, go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. You'll be blown away. Rock bottom prices on diamonds with a selection that's like 20 times what you'll find at other stores. Designer rings you can't find anywhere else. Guarantees and warranties that are the strongest in the business. And a relaxed, no pressure, laid back experience with no commission salespeople. That's what you're going to find at Genesis Diamonds. The prices, the selection, the service, it's second to none. So don't buy anywhere else before you at least go check it out. See for yourself what Genesis Diamonds and that Genesis Diamonds experience is all about. They've got all of the top designers out there when it comes to bridal rings. They've got thousands of handcrafted rings made by those premier designers. The massive selection of lab-grown diamonds, natural diamonds, something for every budget. You'll find it at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
The Commanders are signing Marcus Mariota to a 1-year deal. Has a $6 million base, maximum value of $10 million. We'll see if Washington also goes quarterback in the draft. We'll take a timeout, come back, wrap things up. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Southern Security Federal Credit Union is a proud supporter of Memphis women's basketball and is thankful to have served the greater Memphis area for over 70 years. Southern Security is a not-for-profit financial cooperative whose mission is to help its members financially. Whether that's through providing savings options, being a lending source, or simply providing convenience, each member's needs are unique. Southern Security, your home team credit union, and a proud supporter of University of Memphis Athletics.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Hi, this is Lauren Choate. As we welcome clearer skies and brighter days, it's the perfect time to clear up something else, your home's air quality. Right now, for a limited time only, get a free dryer vent cleaning with every air duct cleaning service. Did you know that cleaning your air ducts can not only improve your home's air quality, but also increase your HVAC system's efficiency? Well, it's not just about efficiency. It's about safety and reducing the risk of dryer fires significantly. With Choate's expert technicians, you can rest assured that your air ducts and dryer vent will be cleaned thoroughly, leaving your home safer in your air pressure. All it takes to breathe easier and save, just one call to Choate's. But hurry, this offer won't last forever. Schedule your air duct cleaning service today. Give us a call at 347-8086 or visit us online, choateshvac.com. Choate's, let our family serve your family.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with my Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Memphis, get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7 p.m. for Hoops for St. Jude night. Don't miss a night full of hoops, heart, and heroism presented by Gossett Motor Cars. Get ready for a star-studded show by securing your tickets at Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning!
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:50 the time. Final segment here on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Tomorrow on the program, Andy Borman will join us from Fort Worth. Tigers assistant coach Jerry Palm with his latest bracketology, which will lead into, of course, Sunday's Selection Sunday show. DeMichael Cole, we'll talk Grizzlies with DeMichael. And Dane Bradshaw will join us to preview the SEC basketball tournament in Nashville. We were talking to start the show about comments that Coach Hardaway made yesterday after his radio show ended and he met the media last night at Brookhaven Pub. And we're going to close the show, so we go full circle talking about that. Another one of the quotes, and this was, we used part of the quote, but here's the full quote. He said, the standard of the program has gone way up since I've been the coach, which I would disagree. It's not easy to recruit in Memphis. I would agree with that. It's not easy to get players here. Absolutely agree. and have done a great job of getting players to come here to Memphis and represent us in a great fashion. I would agree with that. I don't think there's any question that Penny, because of who he is, has been able to attract top-tier talent and sign top-tier talent. That is not an argument.
And certainly the landscape has changed, and we'll see. But Josh Pastner recruited extremely well here. Like everybody's gotten players here.
I thought Josh did a good job. He worked hard. He was riding the coattails of Calipari and Memphis as a program. Not that it was put on the map, because it had been on the map several different times. But Memphis would have the great runs and then the periods of where they struggled a little bit, and then the great run and then another struggle. So he was riding the coattails a little bit. And then when the wealth ran out, you saw what happened. And Penny took over after Tubby Smith. And, of course, the 2 years where Tubby was recruiting not at a high level if you're looking at big names. He wasn't able to attract the big names. Penny,
he wasn't trying to.
He may not have been, because, he's more old school, get junior college guys, develop high school guys. Again, I don't have a problem with the way Penny is putting together his teams. The problem is that it's a challenge every single year, because that's what you've elected to do instead of going 4 or 5 high school guys, developing them. And then again, in this day and age, you have one bad year, they don't play, they're leaving to go to the portal. So again, I have no problem with the way he assembles his team. But you have to make sure that you're assembling everything that you need. Going back to my metaphor about making a cake with the ingredients. If you have a couple of missing ingredients, the cake's going to suck. You need to have the ingredients. In other words, you need to have that vocal pass-first point guard. You need to have that knockdown three-point shooter. You need to have physicality. I mean, look at some of the teams that are near the top in college basketball. Houston, physical as hell. Memphis has been able to play pretty physical and defensive-oriented over his first 5 years. This year, hopefully, for Tigers fans, it's an anomaly the way they were playing defensively. But you look at Connecticut, again, big, physical, strong team. That's the way to go. If you have a player that stays for 3-4 years, that's great. It's a lot harder in this day and age. So I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for being able to recruit. But saying he's done a great job in recruiting, saying it himself is kind of weird, but that's true. Saying that the results have been great, no, they've been good, but and in some regards, this year, if they don't make the tournament, underachieving, with no question about it, disappointing, no question about it. I don't think he would argue that, but I wouldn't call it great. I wouldn't call it a great job 6 years. I know we had a COVID season. If they only have the one NCAA tournament win. This is a huge week. Again, not like something's going to happen, but it's huge because you're saving face, you're trying to anyway, and they have the team that could make the run. It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened in Memphis. They had that opportunity when Darius Washington missed those free throws to make that run. 4 games in 4 days is really, really hard. But with the talent they have on this team, they have the talent to do it. I don't know if they have the cohesiveness, the chemistry, the mental makeup to do it. So Penny can make everybody, shut their mouths if they can figure out a way to get this done and get into the dance. If not, the scrutiny is going to continue. And again, as long as you're not attacking personally, in my opinion, if you're just questioning things, decisions, and all that, you have the right to do so.
Plenty of reason to do so.
Yeah, whatever the reason is. But, I mean, it's as long as it's not constructive criticism, but criticism where it's not a personal attack. Yes, even diehard fans, because it's a mixture, as I said earlier. It's a mixture. You're going to have people coming out of the woodwork that are here in Memphis but couldn't care less about the Tigers. They're going to comment, especially those who listen to sports talk radio, and they have the right to if they want to.
They all want him to keep Penny.
Well, others that certainly are diehards.
I know Tennessee fans want him to keep Penny.
Well, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, they have their own coach who's gotten them there and then struggled once they got there. So
I'm just saying, I've heard from many Tennessee fans that Penny is here a long time.
Well, again, we'll see if they can make some sort of run. Now, Can they get to the championship game? Yes. What do I think right now? I don't want to make a prediction here on Tuesday. I'll make a prediction probably tomorrow. But the problem is that even the teams that you would get in the second round, it would be their first game, if it's Rice, you lost to them. Not that I don't think you're better. I think you're better than them, but you lost to them. You beat Wichita State twice. There are some other teams down the road that you have lost to. You had enough losses in that league where it was spread around. So, again, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Obviously, it's a Wednesday, and that means the start of the American Conference Tournament, the SEC Tournament. Today, you got the ACC, the Big 12, and the A-10 all getting underway. Oh, okay. Coming up next, it's Dave Woloshin. I'm sure Wolo will have more to say about the whole situation. Dave getting ready to head with the team down to Fort Worth for the American Conference Tournament. Want to thank Connor O'Gara, Jeff Crane, Steve Sands for joining us. Coming up tomorrow, Andy Borman will join us from Fort Worth, Tigers assistant basketball coach. We'll get his thoughts on the team as they get ready for the conference tournament. Jerry Palm from CBS Sports to Michael Cole on the Grizzlies, and Dane Bradshaw will join us to talk some SEC tournament. That'll do it for us. For Eli and for Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.